responsibility.
Finishing this fight.
Alright, hello everybody. This is Cade from the Lore Council, joined by Keith.
Hello. Let's hope the thing doesn't cut out my voice this time.
Oh, hell yeah. And we are also joined by our new guest for the time, other Tristan.
The less cool Tristan.
The less hot Tristan.
Yeah, sorry guys.
But yeah, no, we're here to bring to you, across the airwaves, our lovely, lovely retrospective on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, 2003's Game of the Year, as per the KOTOR 2 trailer.
Yes.
Sure.
Cannot ignore the KOTOR 2 trailer. The KOTOR 2 trailer knows all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it literally tells us
I'm
that.
not aware of that.
Oh yeah, so if you watch the KOTOR 2 trailer that plays during the opening, like when you open up the game, if you watch it after that, it shows the trailer for KOTOR 2 before you like play the game when you're starting it up, only on the Xbox version.
Oh, okay, so I probably have that. But yeah, so
Probably
KOTOR
skipped it.
came out in what, 2003?
2003.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Wow, almost 20 years ago.
I
Whoa.
believe it came out after Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I think that came the year before it, 2002, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
Another
what came
classic.
out after? Battlefront, 2004.
Well, and in the same year, like 2003 was just a landmark year for Star Wars because Jedi Academy came out like 6 months later.
Oh yeah, dude, that like 5-year span was like insane for Star
The
Wars.
golden
games.
age of Star Wars video games. Yep.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah, like 2001 to like 2000. When did Force Unleashed come out? 2008.
I want to say 2008.
Yeah, like that stretch is just like a golden age for Star Wars, and this is like, I wouldn't say it peaked, but like this is creme de la creme of Star Wars.
Probably like one of the best things to come out of that era. One of the things that's really lasted. KOTOR.
Well, it's like really something nobody wants to touch. You know, like you've only heard about like a remake. Like we're getting like a remake, or they're working on one only just now. You know, people are like kind of like afraid to touch it, and like I think they're kind of afraid to like touch the time period too, a little bit, especially with like modern stuff.
I think it was because at the time it's kind of weird. I guess such a traditional RPG, you know, but like a Star Wars game.
Well, it's very similar to like other stuff that was coming out at the time. I mean, Baldur's Gate, which is basically like a fantasy version of KOTOR set in like the D&D universe, basically runs off of like the exact same like engine. They're both based off of like the D&D like I mean other Tristan.
Does Baldur's Gate do like top down or something?
It's like top down, but it has like the same general thing, like where they're both based off of D&D. Like KOTOR, I believe, is based off of the Star Wars role-playing game 3.5 edition, which is literally just a rip-off of the D&D system of the same time period.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so... But yeah, I mean, if you haven't played KOTOR, like, I don't know what rock you're living under. You can play it on your phone, your iPad, your computer. If you have an Xbox 360, Xbox One, maybe the Xbox Series S. I have no clue if it's compatible on that.
Yeah, you can play it.
On,
You could put the disc onto the Series S or X or whatever. Play the original in 60 FPS.
If you do download it, you gotta beware. I played it on Xbox One, and it ate my save.
Yeah, I fortunately, I've never played it on the Xbox 360, never played it on the Xbox One. I've only played it on the OG Xbox. I played it with the Duke, so that's how old I am.
Oh, dude, I played it on... I think I first played it on the 360, and it's terrible on the 360. Like it has like sound glitches and everything. Like it's awful in 360.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
only
there are some sound glitches. Yeah, that's how I played it.
yeah, and then
For
the
the most part, it wasn't too bad, but
yeah, the only problem playing it on PC is depending on what edition of Windows you have, you basically have to like forfeit all of the cutscenes.
If you're streaming,
maybe you have to like skip the cutscenes.
it'll like play it, but if you're streaming, you can't like show any of them for some reason.
No, because I have Windows 10, and it's straight up like I have to disable the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
mine works fine.
which I mean is fine. Like I've seen them all 50 times. Like I don't need to see the cutscene of the fucking the star map opening on Manaan. Like it's not like the cutscenes add a lot, anyways. After you've seen them the first time, like you've seen them.
Yeah.
I've only played it the one time, and then like a little bit of a dark side playthrough.
Oh, dark side playthrough, very edgy.
But yeah, I guess we should explain it for the folks back home. Knights of the Old Republic, the video game, originally released on Xbox, and basically just like 3D kind of action RPG. You know, a lot of dialogue and like talking to characters and interacting with them, but then you know, RPG style kind of combat where you know your choices affect your character. You can be a melee character with weapons. You could have blasters and shoot people. You know, be a Jedi, not be a Jedi. Be like a bounty hunter or whatever, right?
Oh, I think that's one of the things that makes the game most like replayable. Like other than all the stuff in the game, like, but you can play the game probably like 10 times and you can run a different class like every time, or a different like play style.
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, like not only can you run a different class or a different build, you can straight up just like there are literally challenge playthroughs that I mean I know you've done. I've done like a solo playthrough only, no force powers playthrough, no lightsabers playthrough.
Blasters only is a popular one.
Yeah, blasters only. I haven't done. I've done for Kotor 2, but not the first Kotor. But yeah, no, like you can literally like you can go back and play this. You can play it light, dark, neutral. You can be like literally the dark side options.
Why would that be appealing to go back and like play the game in a different way?
Alternate dialogue, alternate ending. You get the chance to be basically if you pick the dark side options in the first KOTOR, you're literally just Satan.
It is pretty fun. It's pretty fun to be a massive, just giant dick.
Yeah,
dark side, like it's pretty cool.
The characters and everything
have, like
treat you different, right?
Yeah, well, but, like especially if you have like dominant mind, like if you have like like force persuade, like the mind trick, like you see Obi-Wan do in Episode 4, like you can like just make people do stuff, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, as long as you put all your points into force persuade and persuade.
Well,
you can do that. Yeah.
I mean, if you get force persuade and what's the second one of force persuade called? Dominate mind.
Dominate mind.
Dominate mind. Yeah. Yep. If you get force persuade and dominate mind, really you can like convince anyone to do anything whenever the option comes up. The only one that will elude you is when you get to Manaan and there's a guy in a locker. Then you have to have a high ass persuade for that.
No, I think that's impossible.
No, I think you can get it if you get high enough.
Pretty sure you have to kill him.
Do you?
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically it's like if you took like a Star Wars D&D and then made it into like a video game you could play and like be in. This would be be KOTOR, right?
Oh yeah, essentially, yeah. Like they just plop you in. You pick your stats.
D&D style
your
tropes.
Character.
Would you say?
I wouldn't say D&D style tropes.
Just RPG tropes, maybe.
I mean, it's just RPG tropes, really, mixed with Star Wars tropes. Like you can pick like if you want to be dark side or light side, pick your class. But really, that's about it. Because D&D has a shit ton of classes, and
KOTOR like a moral
has
system
like
is like
combat.
Like one of those first games to put in like a moral system that affects the game as you play.
Yeah, well, the only thing that's a little disappointing with KOTOR versus KOTOR 2 is like your alignment really only affects like the ending, like the last like fifth of the game from like the Unknown Planet onwards.
And I feel like the choices are very binary. Like you can't really be neutral in either game really, but like, yeah, you can either be like really good, or like Satan, pretty much, or just be apathetic and do nothing.
If you like mix it up, you could kind of maintain grayish status.
Well, you can maintain like a neutral stat, but at the game literally at the end forces you into either you're going to do the light side option or the dark side option, and it comes down to like it doesn't even come down to your alignment; it comes down to dialogue choices.
Oh, okay. Well, that's getting kind of technical there.
Oh, we haven't even touched on technicalities yet.
But yeah, where to start with the Kotor?
Well, I mean, where to start? I mean, it starts off with you're on your ship.
Yeah, you wake up. You're getting.
Yeah, you're on the Endar.
Your ship's getting shut down.
Yeah, it opens up with that classic Hammerhead ship getting attacked by the.
Well, I mean, I think the cool thing is because this is one of the first Star Wars games I ever played that I took notice of the story, but I always thought it was cool that it opens up with like the Star Wars text crawl.
Oh yeah, sure, but that was like every Star Wars video game back then, really.
Yeah, but this is the first one.
Battlefront, they showed you like 30 different text crawls.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, this came out in 2003, so I would
Lego Star Wars is text crawl for every level.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I mean, I was 8 when this came out, guys, so I was pretty wowed.
Dark Forces, there's a text crawl for like every level.
Okay, I didn't play Dark Forces when I was 8. I played KOTOR because I was cool.
But I'm sure it's. I honestly didn't even remember that there was a text crawl for this.
Well, and that's the thing is like it just like in A New Hope, because that's one of the great things about this game is as long as you've seen like the first, like if you've seen the OT, you're gonna understand everything in KOTOR.
Right? Yeah.
Really
even that first shot is like it's like a very similar shot to the opening of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I mean it kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an homage to it. I mean, there's no like big Star Destroyer, but yeah, you're on a good guy ship that's getting shot at by bad guy ships.
Getting boarded.
But like,
the good guys have weird shovel-shaped scoop helmets or something.
Like, I don't think you need to know anything about Star Wars to like this game, though. Like, I think a lot of people, actually, their love of Star Wars came from this game.
Oh yeah,
this could definitely be something that could introduce you to Star Wars for sure.
And I think it was quite different from everything. Like, it's and when I was a kid, it was really different from everything like that I saw like as Star Wars. Like it's like first off, it's like the time period. It's like what 4,000 years before A New Hope. It's like I think the devs they had a choice to either make the game during like I think the Clone Wars or like sometime before that or something, or like make it like really like far into the past.
Yeah, and I guess they probably checked out the Tales of the Jedi comics and were like, let's do that.
Yeah. I'm glad they make it really far in the past because they had a lot of like creative freedom doing that.
Yeah, no, they literally had the option of setting it in the Clone Wars or making it.
What would that game have been?
Probably awful.
Clone Wars RPG game.
Maybe 1313.
No, it's too early for 13.
No, it would have been KOTOR, but Clone Wars. Knights of the Current Republic.
Oof.
Yeah, but I think they still consider the Clone Wars Republic the Old Republic.
Well, it is. Yeah.
No, yeah, it is technically still the Old Republic, but
yeah, no, I mean
long-ass Republic.
No, because God, I'm gonna have to look at
because Tarkin calls it the Old Republic in A New Hope. So, bam.
Yeah, but they had to invent the Rusan Reformation.
The last remnants of the Old Republic have been swept away. And he's referring to the Senate.
Yeah, but I remember seeing like a lot of like stuff for this like coming out, and it literally like it basically marketed itself on being like 4,000 years basically before Yavin.
Yeah. Oh, it just drew me. I don't know. Maybe it's just I was a giant dork nerd back then, but like what drew me in is just I thought it was cool that it was just like, oh, dude, it's like ancient Star Wars, and like my dad was like showing me like, oh, dude, this is Darth Malik, and then this is like Darth Revan.
Oh my god!
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, because
he was like, yeah, Darth Malik.
All right, so yeah.
This
game definitely. Oh yeah, no, this game definitely marketed itself literally from the beginning as being like way before anything else, because it's the first sentence of the text crawl is 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Republic verges on collapse.
Right, yeah.
So it fills you in, it tells
Ultra
you...
prequel.
Oh yeah, it's like the prequel to the prequel's prequel. And yeah, no, so if anyone cares, like if anyone's hyper fixated enough on the time period, it's 3956 BBY. So, but yeah, I mean, like it opens up. It's amazing. It's cool. Like you get the cool shots. You get your dude is somehow your dude or girl. I mean,
right.
I mean,
Classic RPG setup. You were just in a coma and you've just woken up and you have amnesia.
You took too much melatonin last night and you're asleep. But yeah, so the game opens up. Well, the game opens up with you creating your character, and like we mentioned before, you pick your stats, you pick your skills,
you cue the doc
class, and that's
from Fallout New Vegas.
No, we don't quite get that, but
what's the soundtrack? You hear the game theme or whatever when you're
All Stars Burn as One, the GOAT.
This game has a great soundtrack written by Jeremy Soule.
No, it's amazing. It sounds like Star Wars. Like if you heard it and then someone told you that John Williams wrote it, you would believe it. But he didn't. But
I think they do use some tracks from the classic movies, right?
Oh yeah.
I think the entire game is has an original track.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, some of them are remixes of like classic tracks, but the entire game soundtrack is, besides like the opening crawl, is original.
Oh, it's like new music. Okay.
I think KOTOR 2 uses some actual tracks.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I don't think KOTOR 1
No, the music's definitely great. It uses this really cool interface that kind of feels like you're using like a Star Wars data pad type thing when you're using it.
Oh, yeah, for display on the screen.
Yeah, for like your your start menu and your your character menu, all that stuff.
Immersion.
Yeah, it's very immersive. Like hardly anything takes you out of it.
Well, like most RPGs, it's about as immersive as you make it, like as you want it to be,
Yeah, and this is it's the tutorial level, so you're just kind of figuring out how to do everything, and you just basically just run through like the ship as it's getting attacked and boarded, fight some grunts, learn how to do turn-based, combat.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing though, is it doesn't over-explain everything. Like, it really just like relies on the fact that you're gonna read what the stats and the feats do, because
it does. It does. There's pop-ups that tell you all the game mechanics. So if you don't know what you're doing, you can't say the game didn't try to tell you.
Yeah, if you go through the game and you don't know what a saving throw is, like it tried, it did its best.
Right, if you don't already know some stuff about RPGs, you might be a little bit confused on stuff, but anybody that knows RPG mechanics would be right at home with KOTOR.
Oh yeah, I mean when I went into this game, it was a shit show. Like I didn't know what any of the stats meant. I didn't know what the feats meant. I'm like, what the hell's a saving throw? What's my charisma modifier? Strength modifier? I don't know what that is. So
the game knows that. Like the game knows people will be like, what the hell is this? Like that's why they added like recommended. Like you can there's like a button. It's like recommended, or like you can auto level up, and it'll just do it for you. It's like, here, I'll do it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, from the Endar Spire, you go. You meet up with.
That's the name of the ship that's crashing, right?
Yeah, that's the Hammerhead class capital ship you're on. Yeah, and
it's not really a spire if it's a hammer.
Yeah, it's the Endar Spire.
I don't know why they call it the Endar Spire.
Well, the Millennium Falcon doesn't look like a falcon, so it's a cool name. That's all that matters. It sounds cool and it's memorable. But
the characters escape in an escape pod that crashes on the planet below.
Yeah, and you get the
another Star Wars reference.
Yeah,
except this time it's not Tatooine; it's Coruscant Light.
Taris. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, by this point, like, the prequels had come out, so, like, having an Ecumenopolis was, like, very relevant.
It was all the rage.
All the rage, yeah. Gotta throw those in there. But, yeah, you're on... I mean, Keith said it best. Like, you're on Coruscant Light. it looks better than Coruscant because it's not all like black and dirty. It doesn't look like people are like spitting, chewing tobacco all over the ground.
Yeah. It's more racist than Coruscant, though.
Oh my god! Is it ever racist? Hey, you crash with Carth Onasi, who is like, I mean, he's a fan favorite character. Like, I mean, if you're
He is dollar store Han Solo.
I wouldn't say Carth is dollar store Han Solo. Yeah, I would say. I mean, to jump ahead to Kotor 2, I would say Atton is
like
dollar
Han Solo
store.
and if you could like combine Han Solo and Wedge Antilles, he would be Han Antilles.
I don't even know if I'd say that because I mean, he's Han Solo with a moral compass, basically.
Yeah, but he has like he's like in the military or something.
Well, he's not. He was in the military. He's in the military. He's Carth Onasi.
Well,
Was he?
it's funny, like, in the game, he's, like, the guy. He's like, oh my god, that's Carth Onasi. Like,
Yeah.
he's, like, a war hero, you know? Then you get on Taris, and he's like, yeah, bro, I'll follow you. See what you're doing.
Oh, that's right. He was on the ship as a soldier. Yeah, then.
Yeah, he was.
But then after that, he's not like a soldier for the rest of the
He
game.
escapes with you, and then, like, you get on Taris, and he's like, all right, I'll let you take the lead.
All right, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the way it starts you out on the terrace, because, well, at first you're just like out in the middle of the open in front of this. Oh wait, no, you don't. No, at first you just show up in this like apartment, and that's kind of like your little base of operations, and the game just says, just go ahead and explore around and talk to people and just do stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's it's definitely one of the fun things about the game is like it doesn't give you like a waymark or any like breadcrumb trail that like points you where to go. Like you kind of have to figure it out for yourself. Like Carth gives you like basically what to do. He's like, oh, okay, well,
yeah, you have to find the mission out like for yourself pretty much, and how to fix stuff, how to do stuff. You don't have like little like journal entries and stuff, right? But
which I never read.
There's not going to be like a waypoint or a marker telling you where to go.
Yeah,
No.
the game encourages you to, like, explore everything, and...
Yeah, and that in a way
around,
can be
see what-
very immersive, right? Because it's like you're experiencing the city and everything for yourself without any of that, usual game bullshit in the way. Hey, here's how to do this. Go do here. Go do this.
Except for Pazak.
Well, okay, if you didn't have a step-by-step tutorial on Pazak, no one would care about Pazak. It would be like
sometimes, but
I mean, Pazak is. I think Kotor.
I could not get into it.
I think
it's like Caravan and Fallen New Vegas. I just can't do it.
I think honestly, Kotor 2, I think did Pazak better.
well, because it's more fair. Like, they let you... So, those of y'all that don't know, it's like blackjack.
Yeah, it's
but you can
space
like...
blackjack.
There's, like, wild cards that you can put into the total to manipulate it, but, like... Yeah, and in the first game, it makes you go first every time. So, like, you're always at a disadvantage because you're always laying down the first card.
Yeah, I'm only familiar with Pazak because of its more modern counterpart to Sabak, which I believe
That's like
is
space poker.
Yeah, Sabak is.
Is it like? Is it? But
Well,
is it
Sabak
kind of similar?
No, because Sabak it's like other Tristan said it's like space blackjack, and whereas Sabak is space poker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sabak is like
It
actually
seems more my style than yeah.
Sabak is actually complicated. Like Kotor, it's like +5.
Is there a game where you can play Sabak and something?
I mean, I
just know it from the beginning of like the Darth Bane book.
I mean, I
And
have
something with Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, I was about to say, not to deep dive you, but Sabak originated, I believe, in the 80s Lando Calrissian novels.
Really?
Oh yeah, there are a bunch
Are Lando
of...
Calrissian novels?
Of course there's Lando Calrissian novels. Have you seen him? He's got the drip, bro.
I know there's like the Han Solo trilogy, but...
Oh, there's a Lando Calrissian trilogy.
What?
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Kotor trilogy, though.
Does he make like wacky business ideas or...
Oh no, there's literally like several chapters that open with... And Lando won a game of Sabak.
But
Yeah, Sabak has been...
Yeah.
Sabak has existed since like the mid-ish 80s.
wow. Cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, I believe... Oh, not to deep dive on a sidetrack here, but I believe the first ever appearance of Sabacc was Lando Calrissian and the Mind Harp of Sharu.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I've never even heard it. Is that like...
It's the first...
Do you have that actual novel? You said you have like every Star Wars
Yeah,
novel.
no, I have that. It's sitting on my bookshelf right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah, it exists. Lando flies the Falcon and plays Sabacc, so...
Wow.
But yeah, so sidetracked on the origins of Star Wars gambling, but yeah, you go through...
And the differences between Kashyyyk and Sabacc.
Yeah, you go through the...
They sound very similar, and they're also kind of spelled similarly.
It's space. But yeah, we get that, and yeah, you kind of go through the upper city, you find everything out where you kind of need to go, and then you go to the lower city.
I like how you can talk to like every little person walking around, and they'll give you a little tidbit, you know?
Oh yeah, at the very least, you're gonna get like a generic dialogue if you walk up to somebody and press A.
Oh, or there's these like protocol droids walking around in Taris that'll just like tell you information and stuff. I was like, oh, it's great. Because it's not, you know, it's like, if you want it, it's there. The video game's not like shoving, you know, exposition in your face, but it's immersive, you know? It's like, you want information, talk to the information droid. It'll tell you fucking everything you want to know.
That is a great thing about, like, if you want to learn about the planet, you can, but if you don't, you really don't have to. Like, they'll mention stuff about it along the lines of the main plot, but, like, if you really want to learn about it, you can talk to, like, everybody, and they'll tell you all about it. You can learn, like, everybody's opinions on everything, like the Sith occupation, because like the Sith are occupying the planet. You can see what people think about that.
Definitely, if you're one of those people that doesn't believe in like, I don't know, just like if you're just someone who just skips dialogue in video games, then you might kind of just hate KOTOR because it's.
If you like to skip dialogue, you will not like this game. This game is very dialogue heavy. You will be talking for the majority of this game for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely best enjoyed if you just let all the dialogue play out, just let it immerse you, and you know, just enjoy it as a sort of book movie kind of thing.
Yeah, I would definitely say like your first probably like 2 or 3 playthroughs, you're gonna want to sit and like watch the dialogue happen. I mean, after that, like I know exactly what you know, the shopkeeper on Taris is gonna say, so I smashed the A button through it.
Yeah, obviously, because you played it like a bajillion times.
Well, yeah, because I know she would give me a discount, but you know the Sith occupation's been hard on her, and you know she can't sell any of her heavy weapons.
Right.
She don't got anything nice to say about those swoop gangs.
But yeah, you get down to
that first level. You just kind of get to walk around, talk to shopkeepers, get little quests, and get information on the world. It's just really cool. I remember when I played it, just thinking, like, wow, this is just really cool. I like it. You can put your character into like first person mode and just watch, you know, ships fly around the city and stuff.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing I think they did for this game is like the backgrounds, they loop, but it's really cool to like, you know, kind of sit and watch them. Like there are like air speeders flying around. And
all that
stuff. It's super cool. It's like an animated background. It's really immersive.
You can just, I mean, like I don't really, I mean, like I like the soundtrack, but like if you turn the music off, you can like really, like you really feel like you're in the middle of a city. Like you hear like speeders everywhere. You can hear, you know, like you get the. I think one of the best examples of the ambiance in the game is, we're getting a little ahead, but like. Kashyyyk. Like if you turn the music off,
you just hear wildlife.
Stand around in Kashyyyk. Yeah, you just hear. It sounds like you're in the middle of a jungle. It's great.
Yeah, and then you get the Tatch doing their thing every like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I prefer that not be in the game.
Yeah, no, but yeah, like Taris is like, it's the best way to
RPG town.
But it's like the best way to do like a tutorial city or like a tutorial section of a game. Like it doesn't feel like the game is talking down to you.
Yeah.
The game gives you a nice quick little tutorial level where you're just like going through corridors and fighting some enemies, and then it lets you open up on the world. Like, you can kind of explore.
It reminds me a lot of Halo CE. first Halo game.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
literally, yeah.
Endar Spire is like, oh my
Pillar
god,
of Autumn.
Yeah.
the ship's going down, tight corridors, it's very
Uh,
linear,
mhm.
and then you crash land in both games, and then
Like,
you get
whoa.
outside and like it's just a whole world to explore. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, all that.
What I thought was really cool was the you get to go into this like cantina and you meet like a hut and you get to do like pod racing and stuff. You get to
Swoop racing.
compete in like swoop racing, and you kind of go up the leader. You can go up the leaderboards and beat the leader. Felt very much like kind of like the arena quest line in Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yeah, well,
On Taris, the hut, that's the duel ring.
yeah.
Oh,
well,
sure. There's a duel
yeah.
ring and then there's swoop
Yeah, the
racing.
duel
Right?
ring.
Yeah. I mean,
You can do both. Yeah,
yeah. There's
that's also fun.
There's a dueling ring, which is like your classic, just fight all the people, and then there's an optional.
And it's like there's like a no kill field on or something like
Yeah.
that.
And they explain it well. Like, it fits in Star Wars. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Like, they'd have a disruptor field that makes it so you can't yolk your opponent. But yeah,
It makes sense, but it really doesn't.
to kind of skip forward in the story.
You can still like whack someone in the neck with a vibro blade and they don't die.
No, disruptor field.
Yeah, sci-fi nonsense.
Disruptor field.
It disrupts the field, man.
It's like, oh, dude, this dude just shot me in the face with a blaster pistol. Nah, disruptor field, bro.
It's probably, I think it's a good way to introduce to the combat though. Like if you're not very familiar with it, like because you can't die. So like if you're trying to like beat this dude, you like figure out what works and what doesn't until you beat him.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You know.
How to buff stuff, yeah.
yeah. You can use like the stims. You can use like literally like
Energy shields.
Yeah, energy shields. You can just spam grenades against ranged characters. Yeah, there's like a workaround for everything. It introduces you to combat really well. And then to kind of jump forward into like the lower city, you run into like your first like big moral choice. So you can either
Well, before we get to the lower city though, it is kind of like your first mission is sort of kind of figuring out how to get there, right?
Oh yeah, because I guess I shouldn't have skipped so far ahead, but yeah, no, there's like different ways you can accomplish getting to the lower city.
Why do we want to get to the lower city again? The Bastila or something?
Yeah,
Looking
Bastila.
for Bastila.
Yeah, you're looking for
You gotta get
Bastila,
the-
who's your
Trying to get to the
waifu.
Undercity. Like right off the bat, you're trying to get to the Undercity.
The
But
British
you gotta
Jedi.
What do you mean British Jedi? That's all the Jedi, besides Luke.
The British female Jedi.
Oh, so I guess there weren't any female Jedi at that point.
Yeah.
None that spoke anyways, but yeah, so Bastila is, I guess, your first female waifu Jedi.
Indeed. But doesn't she just saves us in the tutorial and then
No, she's not in the
crash
tutorial.
land and she disappears? Something like that.
Yeah,
She's not.
well,
No, you're trying to find her on the ship in the tutorial, like on the Endar Spire. You're trying to find her, but she escapes first before you do,
yeah,
and she
but-
lands on the planet first, and then you try to find her on the planet.
Yeah, the entirety, the
Gotcha.
entirety of like this first planet is just like building Bastila up as like the galaxy's most like badass Jedi ever.
Yeah,
She
battle
is.
meditation.
Battle
Karth's just like we gotta save Bastila, man. Something.
Oh yeah,
You're like, who's Bastila?
did you fall out of your bunk and hit your head? Bastila is the commanding officer of this ship.
Right, yeah, because again, your character has amnesia.
Well, your character doesn't have amnesia. You don't know that yet.
You don't
though.
know it yet.
You don't know that yet.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
But doesn't the character basically not know anything?
Yeah, 'cause-
beginning?
Well,
yeah,
I mean, he's the guy playing. It's a good way to insert yourself into the game. You're like,
I feel
what
like they
the
said
hell
at the beginning though
is
that
all
he
this?
had amnesia or he was injured or
no,
something.
it's a joke that Trask makes that you fell out of your bunk and hit your head.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
like Karth makes the same joke though, because you're like,
Hmm.
why is Bastila so important? And Karth's like, wow, that smack to your head did more damage than I thought.
Karth's like, wow, that meth you took
Oh, okay.
had more of
So
an effect
basically,
than I
before then,
thought.
you're basically like the game's just kind of letting you either do a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, essentially. And I mean, speaking of good and bad things, like the first big moral conundrum you come to is like, well, are you gonna pick the good swoop gang or the bad swoop gang? And
Yeah.
you either get
You
to
pick the the nice guys are the murdering psychopaths that shoot people in the street.
Oh yeah, it's literally like, again, like with the first KOTOR, like there's no nuance. Like it's either your.
I think it was meant to be that way. Like it was meant to be like very, very Star Wars. You know, like. The game is definitely not like that.
You get to the lower city by disguising yourself as a Sith trooper.
Oh yeah, very akin to the New Hope.
New Hope.
Yeah, there's stormtroopers.
Yeah, I mean like. You could.
Yeah, the lower city doesn't it have like a cantina or something? Another cantina maybe?
Yeah,
Yep,
there's a
cantina
cantina
down
where
there
you can get bounties, so you can be a bounty hunter for like 30 minutes.
And it's basically just like the 2 hideouts for the different swoop gangs, that one cantina, and then that's it, right?
Well, there's the
they
hidden,
both have bases.
There's the hidden Bex base, which you can just get into just for the sake of the main
It's not
story.
very well hidden.
Yeah, well, they're not very hidden, no.
No. I think it's one of those things like the Crips and the Bloods where it's like, everybody knows they exist and, they're just gonna exist. And, short of an orbital bombardment, like, we're not gonna have any, end to this conflict. So, but yeah, you get you go into the Hidden Bex, you get to converse with Gadden, who has just a bomb-ass voice actor.
Oh yeah, he's Well, I mostly remember him as the judge in Family Guy.
Gadden, I'm not. It's been a couple years.
No, Gadden.
Nope.
Yeah, he just chimes in. Calm down, Zertra. These guys are packing heat, and they'll fucking kill us all if you don't comply.
But yeah, it ties into the main. It makes you like. There's a lot of things that you get tied into, like the main quest, like looking for Bastila. Now you're tied into these swoop gangs to try to find her.
Yeah, you
and
get
I think,
that.
Like,
yeah,
once
you get that.
Once you find they're making you look for like some prototype swoop accelerator.
The prototype
accelerator.
accelerator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I gotta race swoop bikes now to rescue Bastila.
Yeah, and again, that's I think that's why Taris does one of the best jobs of being a tutorial planet. It introduces you to everything. So you have the dueling arena for the combat. You have the bounty hunting quest lines for your moral conundrums, if you're gonna be a dickwad or a good guy. And then you have literally the crux of the thing comes down to a Fast and Furious like a car race basically.
Or yeah, you have to win the tournament or whatever because Bastila is the first prize or something.
Yep. You get to win Bastila in a slave outfit.
Yeah, Bastila in the slave outfit. But yeah, no. So from there, you rescue Bastila, and then you're introduced to him earlier. But Canderous Ordo, who's the coolest Mandalorian ever. Sorry, Jango Fett, sorry Boba Fett, but have you seen Canderous Ordo?
Big muscly, scarred up Mandalorian.
He's got a tribal tattoo, which is very 2003.
I think his voice actor died this year, didn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
I don't know who else he voiced, but yeah, I just remember hearing that. That was pretty sad.
Oh goddamn! He died 5 years ago, bro.
What? He did?
Yeah, he died in 2017.
Yeah, maybe I have amnesia.
Bro, are you Revan?
Who are you? How do I unlock my footlocker?
Press the A button to unlock your footlocker.
A button. I'm on PC.
All right, so oh my god, yeah, he's in quite a bit of he's in a couple Star Wars things. So he's in he played Dash Rendar in a couple video games, which is pretty pog.
Okay.
And then he was Canderous, and then he's Canderous again in KOTOR 2.
Oh yeah, we gotta say that Bastila's voiced by Jennifer Hale.
Oh, Jennifer Hale? You mean the voice actress who's in like every other video game ever made?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of cartoons also.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of like voice acting like pedigree that's in this.
Pretty sure I heard her in the Spider-Man 90s cartoon.
Yeah, she's the mommy Black Cat.
Boom.
And Kurt's voice actor went on to do what's his name? Kaden in Mass Effect.
Yeah, he's in the first Mass Effect and maybe the second one, depending on how you choose his fate in the first one.
Right, he plays Kaden, and then...
Well, he's also one of the clone commandos in Clone Commando.
In Republic Commando?
Or Republic Commando, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which one?
Cool.
Oh, he's definitely in it.
No, I don't know that.
I don't know how you didn't know that. Like you like absolutely got on my ass about playing Republic Commando.
He might be Fixer, I guess, but I don't.
All right, so I just looked
Where the
it
hell
up,
were we?
and
The Undercity? Oh yeah, who?
he's Delta 62.
Oh, Scorch.
Sure.
I think that's Scorch. Yeah. Okay. I maybe I can kind of see that, but he sounds very different.
No, I played through like the first I played from maybe like the first hour and a half of Republic Commando, and I immediately knew it was Karth.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
Okay.
he's Caden from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. And he's also in a couple of... He's in Rogue Squadron and Force Commander. For some other Star Wars games. But yeah, to summarize, yeah, Taris is, in my opinion, it's like it's the video game tutorial to beat. And I don't think it's been topped.
Talk about the Undercity?
Oh yeah, the Undercity, it absolutely terrified me when I was a kid because it was just full of rackles.
Ugh.
Yeah, unlimited
Damn
rackles.
Yeah, Mitra.
Infinite rackle.
Sure.
Yeah, Mitra, tell me about the stats of the first rackle you fight outside of the gate.
Oh. I think a lot of people, when they fight that first rat hole, they have a lot of trouble with it. I think that was my first death ever in the game. I think it's like a level 8 or something, and your character level, by the time you meet him,
It's like
is like
3.
level 5.
Oh,
And
I
he
don't
does
remember
like,
that.
There's like poison damage, and you can't you can't even be immune to poison, I don't think, at that point in the game. It's just, ugh.
You're supposed to get
Rackles are-
turned into a rackle if they even just scratch you, but I guess the game kind of fudges that a little bit.
What?
Turn into a rat.
What'd
I think
you
it's
say?
the bite that makes you turn into a raccoon.
Like, even if they just scratch
Yeah,
you.
but you
Oh, I don't
definitely
know.
also
you
get bit by the rackles. But
Yeah,
you're
you just have to go looking
maybe.
around the Undercity for some stuff.
well, you're looking
Yeah, that
around.
was
The,
pretty good. That
you're
kind of
looking
more
around the
opens up and lets
Undercity
you
to-
do some dungeon crawling.
Oh, you get some dungeon crawling. You run into Canderous again.
Think you maybe fight some bounty hunters or something?
No,
Like some, I feel like I'm thinking Gamorreans.
you
I don't know
you
why.
have the option.
Might
have
to,
just been all the
you,
rackles.
you have the option to fight some Sith before you go into the sewers,
Oh yeah. I remember this.
and then from there you can get the Rackle serum, which you can bring to the
Let's talk about
doctor.
how horrible the Undercity is.
Oh, the Undercity. It's like it's like basically a bunch of homeless people.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
if you thought
I mean,
like Lower Coruscant was bad, like holy crap. They're living in like third world conditions underneath this like huge super futuristic
No,
city.
they literally live in like yurts.
Right, yeah, they live in like just like huts and they got these like, like crappy clothes and
that's-
everything.
That's the whole planet. It's like just a caricature of like just a big city. Like you got like the beautiful tourist attractions, like the bright lights, big city, and then you get to like the inner city part, which is the lower city. And there's like gangs, and it's all beat up and messed
Yeah.
up, and there's like broken shit everywhere. And then you get to like the Undercity, and it's just like homeless people, wasteland, like.
Yeah, you
know,
could
like-
do the Mr. Incredible Uncanny meme. Just start with Taris and then just
Oh, yeah.
go down to
Yeah,
the
you got like
biker gangs, and then to the lower city or the Undercity.
Oh no, it literally reminds me, like, whenever I think of Taris, I think of I'm from Fargo, North Dakota, and it just makes me think of that because, like, the area I live in, it's like nice, it's like a new housing development. So yeah, like Upper City, and then we get Lower City. You're getting a little bit closer to like downtown, and then you get to downtown, which is the area I was offered meth at outside of a bar. So
nice,
very apropos. I'm just trying.
You really feel bad for the people that live down there because they're like, they're caught between a rock and a hard place.
Oh no, like they literally
quarantined with the rat ghouls.
They literally like just absolutely just like get it to you like perfectly. Like you get like shaken down for like what like 10 credits.
5 credits.
Yeah, 5 credits.
Oh yeah, as soon as you get down there, yeah.
Yeah, 5. The Upworlder wants to use our elevator. Pay us 5 credits. Which is probably like it's the equivalent of like, like a US dollar. Like give me a US dollar to use this hotel elevator.
Yeah, and then they lock.
Can't you choose? You can choose to pay him or kill him or something, right?
Oh, you can choose. You
can pay them or just get nothing.
Yeah,
give them nothing.
Oh.
In typical Kotor fashion, you can either pay them 5 credits or threaten to like.
Or threaten to kill them.
Threaten to kill their children in front of them, and yeah.
And then so not exactly as much freedom as like a tabletop RPG, but for a video game at that time, it's close enough.
I mean, it's like most interactions. It's light side option, like give them extra credits.
Dark side option,
do nothing. Like
you can see how that could be like a scenario, in an RPG. Like, you're accosted by some beggars wanting to pay tribute or whatever.
Accosted by
I take out my gun and shoot them.
Accosted by beggars. I will actually kill your. I'll kill your mother in front of you and make you like dig her shallow grave.
Is that the actual dialogue?
Basically,
it's like be gone before I use my blaster to end your problems permanently or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I will say, like, there is some dark comedy in like the dark side options.
The writing is it's gonna be pretty funny sometimes.
I think one of the dialogue options, it's like I'm gonna like carve my initials like in your brain with my blaster bolts or some shit.
I'll save it for later, but there's a dark side option that absolutely just gets my goat every time. But yeah, you go through the Undercity and it's everybody's pitiful. Like you just feel sorry for all of them.
They lock.
They're living like tribal people.
If someone gets bit by rat ghouls, they lock them in a cage and just wait for them to turn into rat ghouls and kill each other.
Yeah, you have a option.
You just release them back into the wild, basically.
Well, you literally have the option to like go into the area that they quarantine rat ghouls, and I want to say there's like two Undercity dwellers in there, and it's like the only option is to kill them after they turn into rat ghouls, which I imagine is a fucking awful process.
You get ambushed, yeah.
But yeah, from there you go into first you meet Mission Veo, who is your Twi'lek companion. Before you
she's got a quirky Wookiee with her.
Yeah, she's got a quirky rookie. Before you start writing your Rule 34s, she's like 14 in the game, so let's calm it down.
I think her voice actor voices Padme in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I think that's the same voice actor.
I don't know about that.
Probably the same one in 03 Clone Wars then.
If not, they sound very similar. I think the chick that voices Padme in the 03 is
the
chick that voices Azula.
Yeah, who is Handmaiden.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Yes, also Handmaiden.
Let's see here. Oh no, you're right.
Stephanie Elkington.
Yeah, Mission Veo is. Yeah, she's Padme in 08 Clone Wars, not 03 Clone Wars. I got those mixed up.
I just figured that out, which is embarrassing. Like it's
one
just
of those few ones that wasn't carried over.
Just like with Republic Commando, I was watching the Clone Wars, and I was like, "That's Mission Veo," voicing Padme.
Now that I think about it, though, thinking about 03 Clone Wars and the lines Padme says, it's that's Azula. I think
Oh, it's very. She does not do a lot to differentiate her voice.
Yeah, basically Azula if she was nice.
that voice actor is also the Azula voice actor. Apologize for not knowing her name, but she's like a lot of NPCs on Taris too. I think she's like a couple of women in the cantina.
Yeah, well, I think one of the I think to sidetrack again, like one of the best things that KOTOR does is like it's not afraid to like reuse like what it has, because I just assume these games were not made on like a giant budget.
Oh yeah. A lot of the NPCs are exactly the same looking. Yeah.
But the great thing about this game though is like it's so well voice acted. Like I think like a lot of RPG games, like you see old clips of old games like where you have like talking interactions and like the voice acting is just like completely terrible. Like the guy just read his lines. But like here, like, and obviously not with every case, but like here, like the voice acting is very good. Like in this game.
Yeah, one of the reasons it holds up so well, even though the characters basically just look like, like they don't look very good. Like, and a lot of them are the same model, but there's they got different voice actors in there, and the writing is always good.
Yeah, I think that's what helps this game. A lot of people say this game doesn't age well, probably mostly because of the graphics and I guess because of the combat, but one thing that does hold up for sure is the voice acting and the interactions with characters.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably the main thing that makes it so great and so unique.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh
yeah. I mean, just
at least among Star Wars games.
Yeah, I mean, well, I will say, like, Star Wars as like a video game like franchise, like it tends to have really good voice acting, probably because they can afford it.
It has really good sound design too, like in every game too. Like,
well,
Star Wars,
maybe that's just because Star Wars sounds are so good. Like, well, Star Wars sounds just sound so good.
Well, I mean, I will say, like, one of the like a lot of the sounds from this game are I feel like they're just recycled from the OT.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there's a couple that are. I think there's a lot of stock sounds too. Like when like if you hit someone with a vibroblade, like you'll get like a thump or something.
It's like a thwack.
Yeah, like.
Definitely plenty of classic Star Wars sounds and some kind of new stuff.
Yeah, definitely does a great job from that. But yeah, from the
Taris classic RPG planet, where if you don't do, or classic RPG starter planet, where better make sure you do everything because you're not going to be able to come back here later.
No, you cannot. But yeah, you meet up with.
I think it's the only instance of that, though. I think. No, it's not. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah,
for most of the game, like Taris. Like if you do something on Taris, obviously you can't go back after you leave. But like for the rest of the game, you can do that. You can go back to planets and stuff. But yeah,
you get to
the main thing I did was I made sure to finish the arena quest line and beat the main dude who's like a Mandalorian or something.
Yeah, Bendak Starkiller.
Bendak Starkiller, the coolest dude ever.
Well, his
last name is Starkiller.
Well, I mean, the greatest thing about that is they're literally just like, again with like the OT references. It's like Luke was originally going to be Luke Starkiller, and George Lucas fiddled with that name for however before deciding on Skywalker. So yeah, they just threw it in there because it's like, oh well, we're gonna have 1,000 other OT references.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, in the original draft of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker was Luke Starkiller, and right from the timing, I guess it was one of the first games to kind of reference that, before Force Unleashed and Force Awakens.
Yeah, no, so yeah, we get a Starkiller reference, who we, promptly get to kill.
And the arena!
Starkiller reference number 1, I believe it was the first one.
Yeah, it is definitely the first one, and
did it before it was cool.
Yeah, so we meet up with Mission Veo, we go down to the sewers, and we infiltrate the Black Vulcar base. And, I mean, the Vulcar base, to talk about skills being relevant, the computer use skill is basically like the only useful skill besides treat injury, and this is one of the finest examples of it. You can like cheese your way through like half the enemy encounters of this area and just zap them all with power pylons.
Yeah, like especially early on in the game, like think there's one of the issues I have with the game is early on you can use like everything's viable. Like the skills are all viable. Like stuff like grenades are OP early on, and like and just being a skilled character will make a lot of encounters way easier. Like you can have a big, like buff soldier dude that deals out damage and just kills everybody in his way, but like it's also viable to play as like a rogue, or like like a guy who can hack computers and stuff and get through the game. I feel like later in the game.
One?
There's stealth, but it's pretty useless, honestly.
Well, once you get the stealth field generator, you can sneak around and you can get like your one sneak attack, but then your entire party has to come from the entire way across the map to help you out.
Yeah.
I barely remember anything about the Volker base. You do some stuff, you make it in good with the other swoop gang.
Well, yeah, this is basically where you get your first option of, you can either go back and kill every single living being in the Bex vase, or you can have like the tiny little like 5-character fight at the Black Vulcar base.
Which I think is funny, like even as like a dark side character, I think like one of the options is like they'll like offer you, they'll be like, yeah, you want to go kill Gadon, and you can be like, why don't I just kill you instead? It's like, why would I backtrack and kill the entire other base when I can just kill you and just do what I was doing already?
So you can get dark side points.
Of course.
But yeah, from there you go on. You either make your choice of if you're going to be a good guy or Satan himself, and from there you get to do the first swoop bike racing, which is I think swoop bike racing is a ton of fun.
Actually, pretty difficult too. Like, well, I mean, like not on Taris, but like there is a learning curve for it.
Yeah, Taris is.
Well, you can kind of screw yourself with the swoop racing, because I think if you like set like a good enough record, the game will want you to like beat that record.
Oh
and
yeah,
so
if
if you do it too well, then like trying to beat like your best is going to be really hard to do. So you kind of have to you have to kind of like do really bad at least the first time you do like one of those races, so you can like
so
keep improving.
The swoop racing on Taris it's pretty rinsed. It's either you do really bad so you can beat your time the second run through, because no matter what, the Black Vulcar random swoop guy will beat you after your first run. Or
that.
Yeah, or you can have like absolute perfect timing, always win. But yeah, from there,
I think if you get a good enough time the first time, I think nobody beats it. But it has to be like really, really good.
I have yet to encounter that.
Because I think, and I know people speedrun the game, so if you have like a low enough time, you don't have to run the race again, because I think the game knows like, dude, you can't do any better than this. So we're not gonna make you do it.
That could be, but yeah, you
at least fair.
Yeah, you rescue Bastila in her slave outfit, and she promptly denies that you rescued her. But yeah, from there you go on to Davik's estate after you break into the
pretty fun dialogue
Sith
with
base.
Bastila. Like when you first talk to her, and be like,
"Oh yeah, she's a bitch, dude.
I'm insert character name, and I'm here to rescue you." Yeah, this game loves to just let you, jerk yourself off with as many New Hope references as you want.
Yeah,
with the dialogue options.
Yeah, but from there you meet up with Candaris again, for the third time if you've met him the other 2 times. And Bastila,
Candaris Ordo. Yeah,
Bastila senses no duplicity in his offer, so you basically are like, oh yeah, I'll fly to this, I'll break into this Sith base and then fly to the Crime Lord's palace if you say it's okay.
Yeah, it's funny. You can just like raid the entire base.
This is the part where you have to
like nothing
steal
happens.
the Ebon Hawk, or
go to the cantina.
Yeah, basically. So first you go and pick up T3M4, who in I think he's better in KOTOR 1 than KOTOR 2. Because in KOTOR 2 he turns into like
T3M4, the KOTOR R2D2.
Yeah, because at least
you mean his sounds?
Yeah, his sounds. Because in KOTOR 1 he has like a unique T3M4 sound, and then in KOTOR 2, they literally just give him R2D2 warbles.
I agree with that, but
I thought he sounded the same in KOTOR 2.
No. Yeah, they literally just give him, like, the R2D2 sounds.
I thought it sounded at least kind of different.
No.
I'm pretty sure it sounds different in KOTOR 2. Like, not like just like R2D2.
No, whenever you converse with him in KOTOR 2, it just sounds like R2D2.
It's pretty much just like he even does the scream.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he does that sometimes, yeah.
But, like, yeah, his
I'll have to re-listen to the KOTOR 1 version of him, then.
Yeah, in KOTOR 1, he sounds like a piece of garbage, though. But it's like a good piece of garbage. Like, he sounds like a 98 Toyota Camry.
Alright.
But yeah, you finally get to T3M4, you get to hack into the Sith base, and you get to shoot a bunch of Sith troopers, which is like basically what you've wanted to do from the start.
Yeah, I like the Sith troopers' outfits. They're just kind of like shiny metal.
It's like really shiny armor.
Yeah, it's like really shiny. It looks like stormtroopers, but different enough to where they aren't like stormtrooper ripoffs.
Yeah, they look very Sithy. Like I can buy them as being Sith troopers.
Oh my god, they have like
designers wanted to make them very faceless.
They literally they have like a Master Chief golden visor with like silver armor with like the black undersuits. It looks awesome. It's very iconic.
We didn't really talk about this thing, but yeah, so they're Sith troopers, but they're not Sith. They're just like regular dudes working for the Sith.
Yeah, they are.
The faction is called the Sith.
The Sith, yeah.
Of course, the galaxy is at war with the Sith, the Jedi and the Sith, and this planet Taris is under the occupation of the Sith.
Yeah, they're basically just stormtroopers 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, so Taris kind of just looks like Coruscant, except you got these Sith troopers sort of just walking around as guards because they are occupational. They're not, occupation.
Looking for Bastila.
Yeah, they're looking for Bastila, who is fucking in their Sith base, just like carving up chodes with a fucking lightsaber.
Double-bladed.
You can walk around with her in the streets.
Yeah, literally just.
Who's that?
Who is that with the double bun, double-bladed lightsaber? It couldn't be Bastila.
Was she like the original Jedi with a yellow lightsaber? Like one of the...
Plo Koon had a golden lightsaber, which, depending on the art, could look kind of yellowish, but yeah.
I mean, first depiction, because wasn't Plo Koon just in, text? Right?
Yeah, basically. He was in, you get to see it every once in a while. There was a game called Jedi Power Battles that had him with the yellow lightsaber.
Okay.
Yeah, Bastila is the first big yellow lightsaber Jedi.
The first Jedi to use a double-bladed too? Or
she's the first Jedi, but Exar Kun's the first double-bladed lightsaber user.
But I think she's the first Jedi character to have a double-bladed.
Yeah, she's the first Jedi.
Yep, from what I can recall, yeah.
But yeah, from there we get to fight our way through the Sith military base, which it's really fun. You just get to blast your way through it, and then
I think it's the first time enemies. No, it's not. But well, actually, yeah, I think it is. Unless you fight Bindek Starkiller, it's the first time enemies use grenades against you. They'll throw frag grenades at you.
Yeah.
So you gotta, if you're blasting them, then I guess you're screwed. But melee, I guess you're fine. Unless you know how to move around and dodge them, which like we said, the combat is kind of like D&D, but at the same time it's not, because you can kind of disengage and run around.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah. So you get to go through the Sith military base. Your only moral conundrum here. There's a Duros who helps you at the beginning of the game, and you can either choose to murder him in cold blood or set him free.
Just like everything else.
Yeah, literally. And then from there, you get to have your first kind of mini boss fight. You get to have the Sith governor of Taris. And
very tough fight for first players, I think, most of the time.
Oh yeah, if you didn't build your character right and you didn't bring the right people with you, then this fight's gonna suck.
I think he is like a level 12.
Yeah, because he can use Drain Life and Stasis, or is it just Stasis?
He's got stasis and drain life.
Yeah, so he can basically he can bumfuck your entire party if you aren't paying attention. Yeah. But if you built your character right, you'll double tap him, no problem.
Very satisfying to kill him.
Yeah, it is.
I remember nothing about that fight.
Well, I remember I was super excited because I thought that's when I was going to get a lightsaber, because he kept, he wouldn't shut up about how, after I kill you, my master is sure to reward me with my lightsaber. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm finally going to get a lightsaber. Like, I'm, 5 hours into this game and I don't have a lightsaber yet besides Bastila. And you get nothing from him except the Ebon Hawk, you get the, codes to bypass the orbital blockade.
Time to leave.
Yeah, time to leave after you do another area of quests. Because you get to go to Davik Kang's estate after you meet back up with Canderous again for the 4th time. You take a bike there, a speeder bike, which is never ever shown. And you meet up with him, and Davik Kang, he's an Italian mob boss.
Yeah, I don't remember any of this.
Pretty much.
Oh, how can you not remember
When do we get to Dantooine? When does Darth Malak blow up the planet?
Well, first of all, we have Davik Kang. Before we get to Dantooine, he's literally an Italian mob boss. He speaks with an Italian accent. And yeah, you get to go through his giant mansion that has 80,000 rooms.
He has a throne room.
He has a throne room, which is for a Star Wars crime boss though, that's perfectly normal.
Oh, is this where you have to steal the Ebon Hawk from?
Yeah, this is where you steal the Ebon Hawk.
That's where you get the Ebon Hawk. Is from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kotor does a lot of those areas where it's just tons of rooms and shit.
Yeah,
I guess you could call them dungeons.
Yeah. Davik's
dungeons.
Davik's estate is just a dungeon for you to go from one side of the estate to the other, and then you find a guy who's being tortured, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just happen to know the, security codes."
It's the pilot.
It's the pilot, the former pilot, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna just give you the stuff because you saved me," and then it being Kotor.
You need a pilot? I need a pilot.
Well, I mean, it being Kotor 1, you can either let him go or just kill him. But yeah, from there you get to fight Davik, and it's your first fight with Kalanod, spoiler. But basically, if you just target Davik, once you kill Davik, the Sith are going to bring the hanger down around their ears. And then Kalanord makes some weird-ass noises, and you board the Ebon Hawk.
Yep.
Yes.
And the Sith destroy the entire city.
Yeah, you literally.
Yes.
Yeah, you literally get to watch millions of people die, and none of your characters care at all.
Pretty much Alderaan.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, and if you were, so basically in Darth Malak is trying to look for them or something like that, and he's just just destroy the entire city.
He just gets bored basically. He's like, yeah, I'm tired of this shit. Just blow up the city.
And speaking
and they don't have a Death Star lying around, so we finally get to see what happens when a starship type, a Star Destroyer type thing, just decides just to bombard a planet and it completely destroys the city.
Yeah, this is
like Han Solo said. It would take 1,000 starships with more firepower than he used about 1,000 starships to destroy the damn whole planet.
He had an entire blockade. This is also your first. Basically,
they blew up the whole planet, not just the one city.
Oh well, the entire planet is a city. It's in a human.
Well, the whole surface of the planet. So they blow up.
They really just destroy the whole thing. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole city. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to dive too deep into what Kotor says, but there's loading screens that say Malak is devoting basically his entire fleet to finding Bastila.
Okay.
But yeah, this is also
if you rushed through the whole Taris area, just thinking, I'll be able to come back here later and check out all this cool stuff. Nope.
All gone. Well, also if you did everything, you're like, well.
Whew. Good call there.
Yeah, but yeah, this is also our first introduction to the character of Darth Malak besides loading screens and the text crawl. And, I mean, if you want to boil it down, he's Kotor Darth Vader.
Yeah, they show him in a very similar shot where it's like, the way you see Darth Vader on the bridge in Empire, they show him like, Darth Malak like that. It very much looks like an Imperial bridge.
Yeah, they always approach him like from the back, so you see like he's bald and he has like basically the entire lower half of his jaw is just a big metal piece. They introduce him.
Talk to the robot voice.
Yeah, akin to Darth Vader. Yeah, he has the robot voice. And yeah, he, wiped
Vader didn't have an evil laugh, though.
That's true.
Malak's got the evil laugh.
Does have an evil laugh, yeah.
Yeah, he commands Admiral Kareth to wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy. And he does, because you never get to go back.
Yeah, and now you are the...
But you do hear about Taris for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, Deadeye Duncan shows up, and Mission brings it up later, 10 times.
But yeah, the game is set up. You're basically now, you're the party. You got the ship, the Millennium Falcon, basically, and you're on the run from the evil Empire.
Well, I'll have you know that it's the Ebon Hawk, and it's definitely not a Millennium Falcon ripoff.
No, but it's basically the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, so you escape and you go to Dantooine, which it's a planet full of Jedi, basically, which is pretty cool considering the era.
Yeah, it's like if Tatooines didn't suck. Come to Dantooine.
Like the opposite of Tatooine, though, because it's like you can grow crops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's like plains and stuff. It's Tatooine if it didn't suck. It's got grass and shit.
Well, I mean,
it's also got monsters.
Yeah, it's also overrun with Cath hounds
and ancient ruins.
Yeah, so
Dantooine, another great area.
Yeah,
really, great
Dantooine is great. I mean, if you've ever been interested in the Jedi as an order, Dantooine is basically just your wet dream.
It's a big exposition dump. You learn about Bastila. You learn about the war between Malak and the Republic.
You learn about the Mandalorian. Yeah, you learn about the Mandalorian Wars. You learn about Revan, who definitely couldn't be the player character. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah,
you learn about some stuff there. I think you learn about the war with Exar Kun.
Yeah,
a little bit too.
Yeah, they name drop Exar Kun because those are comics that had come out 5 years before this game.
Yeah, you get lots of Tales of the Jedi stuff.
Yeah, basically
you can buy Cassius Fett's armor.
Yeah, literally, there's a fucking Rodian who just has Cassius Fett's armor.
I think you can buy there's a store where you can buy Calrissian's utility belt too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of references to other stuff here. Moral of the story is this is where you get to pick what kind of Jedi you're going to be because the council
Jedi stuff.
Yeah, the council agrees to train you even though you're adult. That couldn't be relevant at all to the later story at all. That'd be ridiculous.
He is too old. Too old for the training.
I mean, there literally is a Yoda who doesn't speak backwards, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, regular
so
talking.
Yoda's just a dick.
What's his name?
Master Vandar.
Master Vandar. And his voice actor is the same Yoda from 03 Clone Wars.
Yeah. Yoda I am. Talk weird I do.
Is it
defend the city we must.
Tom Kane?
Yeah, it's Tom Kane.
He retired from voice acting, didn't he?
I believe so, but yeah, he's basically the default voice actor whenever Frank Oz isn't available.
He does a good job of it. He is very good Yoda, and the only another one I like is Dooku.
Yeah, the Dooku. The Dooku.
Plays Christopher Lee, but man, Dooku voice actor is really good.
Yeah, so
he's good.
Yeah, we get a little bit of a training montage. You got to have a montage, and we get you and Bastila. It progresses from you fighting with swords to you levitating. It's like a, it's basically Dagobah, but on a
You go from not being able to lift one data pad, you're struggling to lift it, and then 2 scenes later, you're levitating while meditating, and you're there's chairs flying around you.
You get a condensed training sequence, pretty much.
Yeah, you start off and your
master teaches you stuff.
Yeah, you get your ass handed to you by Bastila with swords, and then like 30 seconds later, like you just slapping her around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's what everybody's been waiting for. It's like, I bet most people are like, when am I going to get my lightsaber? When am I going to be a Jedi?
Well, before you can do that, you have to remember the Jedi code.
Oh yeah, you gotta first, you gotta remember a multiple choice questionnaire, and then you gotta pick your favorite color.
You have to be a Jedi, like no matter what, even if you're like a blaster character.
There's
like,
not
you have to get a lightsaber
not an option to not be a Jedi.
Be a Jedi. Okay.
You don't have to use Force powers, but
so if you're one of those people you really wanted to play a bounty hunter in this game, unfortunately, you are Force sensitive, and you will have to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
It's even harder in the second game.
Oh yeah, but yeah. From here you get to the part where you get to pick your lightsaber. If you
you have to pick a class, and it gives you all these. It's a different color for each class.
Yeah, this is where the lightsaber color spazzes.
What do the lightsaber colors really mean?
Well, let me tell you.
Pretty sure this is where the lore for the sabers came from, or the saber colors.
It's the only time it's ever been referenced as like the colors having a meaning. But yeah, there's a multiple choice questionnaire that you get to pick. It's either you're a guardian, a counselor, or a Jedi Sentinel. If you pick the super combative options, you're a counselor or not a counselor.
Yeah, I don't think anybody like actually got Guardian, because like all the Guardian options are just total meathead options. It's like, what are you gonna do if you're fighting a Dark Jedi and there's a pause in the combat and attack him again?
Yeah, it's literally like it's you have like option A, option B, and option C. There's no middle options, and then oh god, what's the
difference between the options? Is it basically just like melee and force powers, and then like pure force powers?
Yeah,
so, like
basically.
the classes, like guardians, like lightsaber, very combat. Sentinel's like a balance. Sentinel's very like skilled too. Like you get like a lot of skills and stuff. And then consular, force powers, wizard.
But you could just pick consular and then just use the lightsaber anyway.
Well, yeah, because literally,
so, like, if you want to have a shit ton of powers, then you pick consular.
Consular, yeah. But basically, Master Dorak says, "Well, I could give a shit less what you actually pick. This is just a personality quiz from BuzzFeed."
And then you get your quirky lightsaber color.
Yeah, you get to pick your lightsaber color, and it's basically So what it comes down to is, if you've never played the game, you just pick your favorite color out of 3. I picked green my first time through because it's my favorite color. Luke Skywalker has a green lightsaber, so why wouldn't I pick green?
Yeah, I picked blue.
Yeah,
I go with green, but then I changed it later.
Oh yeah, and
lightsaber supremacy.
Well, and that's literally the crux of the argument against lightsabers is Master Dorak, the guy who gives you the option of lightsaber colors, basically says, it doesn't matter what you pick because you can find a crystal later and change it. I could give a fuck less.
Yeah, it's crazy how much like quote unquote like lore for like saber colors like has evolved from just like this like literally Dorak is like, yeah, these colors symbolize this in the these positions in the order, but like you can pick whatever color you want and they really don't mean anything.
The crystal is the heart of the blade. The blade is the heart of the force. Sorry.
Telling you what like orange means.
Well, you see, orange means that you had too many cheeseburgers that day. And if you pick the yellow lightsaber, you're dangerously dehydrated and you need to drink some water. And if you pick the blue lightsaber, it's because you like blue Gatorade the best.
It's because you're really sad.
Yeah, but from here you get to go
full Jedi treatment. So if you wanted to do something like that, it gives you plenty of that.
Yeah, if you want to like do a playthrough and you can fully like go into like whatever the personality quiz
Jedi,
tells you,
right?
Yeah,
or you can just tell them like all their training is bullshit. Or don't you have to kind of go along with it? I just did the light side playthrough.
So no, there's if you want to do dark side, there's literally an option that says lie. I promise.
Oh yeah,
I promise, masters, I'll never fall to the dark side.
Yeah, it's so cheesy though. It's like, of course, great masters. I seek to follow the light.
Yeah.
Dark side points gained.
Yeah, so if you're being a dark side character, you can sort of like use that line and still kind of be in character as a dark side player, even though you're doing the, quote unquote good Jedi thing.
Yeah, even though you're doing what the Jedi tell you to do.
Yeah. It's all part of your evil Sith plan.
It's literally just there so you can be a dark sider. And
yeah,
also
it's fun. It's fun. The game is just fun.
Yeah, and here's where you get your other big choice for the game. After you go through the game on Dantooine, you get the option of either recruiting or just murdering in cold blood Juhani.
Oh yeah, they give you quests saying, "Oh, there's a dark Jedi just hanging out nearby. Go."
Go
take care of her.
They're far more vague. They tell you
like the painted grove.
Yeah, there's a dark presence in the grove. Get rid of it, and you'll be a Jedi Padawan.
It's your final test before you become a Padawan.
Yeah, and you fight your way through a bunch of Mandalorians and Cath Hounds, and you find this cat lady who, well, I'm going to be your doom. Well, actually, no, you're not, because I know how combat works now.
Yeah. Fun fact, Juhani was the original design for Bastila.
Well, because Bastila was also going to be Vima Sunrider,
but there's... Is she? Is she like an Arsing?
No, she's a Cathar.
Kind of looks like Arsing.
She's a Cathar. She's a cat.
Oh. I guess she kind of looks like a cat. She got like cat eyes, yeah.
She looks a lot like a cat. She has like whisker cheeks.
Yeah, she has whisker cheeks.
Like a cat nose.
She's got the cat eyes.
I think it's funny. There's a lot of mods for Kotor, and like Juhani's character is like all about being she was like oppressed in her childhood and stuff. It's all about like rising above oppression and being like treated differently. And there's mods that make her into just like a white female. Just like a regular human instead of like an alien.
Hey, it's the most oppressed being in all of Star Wars.
Oh my god!
And I gotta say, I really like
the crackers.
Because for Dantooine, there's of course the Jedi Academy and the little area surrounding that. But then, once you go out into like the world, you can kind of like explore around. It's like a whole big area, not really like a whole big connected area, but like little tiny areas connected by like loading screens and stuff. Yeah, well, like one more, like you got like animals running around that you can like fight and stuff. Do some classic, RPG grinding if you want to level up there.
Well, I think
there's one cool quest. You get to solve like a murder case.
Yeah, the murder case is really, really fun, and if you don't pay attention, you're gonna get it all wrong.
I got it wrong the first time.
Yeah, there's also a super cool Mandalorian side quest where you go around to the different areas, and there's all these different Mandalorian raiders that you can fight that have been terrorizing the area, and if you get through them all and then get back to one of the areas, there's like a Mandalorian chief there, and he's like the second or third non-Force user to ever use the lightsaber, and you have to fight him, and you can get another lightsaber like right at the start of the game.
Dantooine is cool.
You got the Crystal Cave.
The Crystal Cave. There's also the Crystal Cave where, like, literally.
What do you have to fight in there?
Kinrath, which show up again on Dantooine.
Spider.
Yeah, it's basically a spider with a tentacle face.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is literally what Master Dorak was talking about. He's like, who gives a fuck if you change your lightsaber color?
You can have a red lightsaber if you want. Be a Jedi.
Yeah, and you have to... I can't remember why you go down there, but do you save some people, or you have to find something?
Well, there's right outside of the cave, that's where the lady's sex droid is.
Oh, right. companion droid.
That was a great way to
And the
introduce
droid like doesn't want to go back to her. It like ran away.
No, the droid is literally like, please just tell her I got lost. Or no, tell her I was destroyed by Cath hounds. And then, of course, you have a Satan option where you can be like, oh, I'll tell her you were lost, but I'll actually kill you.
Great quest. It's like, you can, like, kill the droid, or you can destroy the droid like it asks you to, and you don't know how the woman's going to react, or you can just return the droid to the woman, you know? Like, there's no right answer, really, to the... I mean, I guess there kind of is, because you see what happens after, but in the moment, there's really not a right answer.
Yeah, because you just assume it's like, oh, it's like R2-D2, like it's just someone's property.
Yeah.
Like this is their garbage disposal.
Like I can return the droid to her and she'll be happy. But like if I destroy it, she might move on or she might not, you know.
Yeah, but
it's a funny little side quest.
It's like a weird. Yeah, it's very weird for Star Wars. It's a very like BioWare quest.
Yeah. And there's a big one later on, but
yeah, but yeah, after you either recruit or kill in cold blood Juhani, you get to take off, and the rest of the game opens up, and this is where it becomes like the big main quest.
The big picture.
Yeah, we're like 12 hours into the game, and you finally get your main quest.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But yeah, so,
no, reality is probably like 2, 3, or 4 hours, right?
Well, depending on how many side quests you did.
It depends on how much stuff you did. Like if you did everything on Taris, and you're probably like, I'd probably say like
I think my full playthrough was like 23-ish hours, something like that.
That sounds about right for like the average of like that's like an average game if you do like most of the side quests.
If you play like just the main story, then yeah.
But yeah, so from Dantooine, you find out that there are these things called star maps that are going to lead you to something, God knows what.
Starforge.
Right, yeah, because you find out that like Revan and Malik were like looking for these maps or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they went somewhere.
Starforge, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah, they just assume again, like going off of like the episode 4 reference, you just assume it's going to be like, oh, it's a Death Star.
Yeah, but like it's a plot point. Like they'll tell you, like they're like, we're overwhelmed by Sith ships. There's just a bunch of Sith ships, and they're coming out of nowhere, and we don't know where they're coming from. And then like you hear about the Starforge,
isn't that like the point of the star maps or whatever? You're like trying to find out where it's all coming from.
Where the Starforge is.
Yeah.
But they're like damaged, so like they're incomplete. So you need like a bunch of them. It's like putting together. And
it basically just becomes a thing where on every planet there's a different Starforge map you have to find, or piece of the map.
Yeah.
Yep.
And introduces you to 4 other planets that have them. So like you get like a massive. It starts your massive, I guess fetch quest. Like it shows you that there's one on Tatooine, one on Kashyyyk. So you got 2 classic planets, then one on Manaan, and one on Korriban.
Which are not classic planets.
Well, Korriban is classic if you've read like
or if you read Tales of the Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, if you read Tales of the Jedi.
Traditionally classic Star Wars.
Yeah, and then Manaan is
I guess at the time Kashyyyk wasn't either.
Well, it kind of was from like the holiday special, and I think it had been in some of the novels.
The holiday special, yeah.
Well, the holidays.
Everyone has great memories of that.
Such classics as the holiday.
Holiday special, and I believe there's it shows up in some of the novels that had come out to this point.
Oh yeah, sure, but we never like seen it in like a movie.
Yeah, you'd never seen it. Well, besides the holiday special, which is a thing that exists. But
yeah, I guess this would be like the first serious interpretation, because there are actually wildly different, I think, interpretations of Kashyyyk. Like you get like in Revenge of the Sith and like Battlefront, or at least the first Battlefront game, or even the second one. There's like like a beachfront, and like you're on the ground, and there's like trees around you. But like in
that I can forgive. It's like an invasion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's also
in Kotor they say like no one's been to the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Wookiees are supposed to live like way above the trees.
Yeah, they're like really high in the trees.
that's very much in keeping with like the expanded universe idea of Kashyyyk for sure. I guess George just wanted a beach scene for Revenge of the Sith. Like, nah.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
he chose a jungle planet, and he's like beach scene.
I mean, like if you want to get into like the how and why of like oxygen-based species exist, I mean, you can't really do it without water. So I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, I mean, I will say like the coolest thing about Manaan, and we'll get to it eventually, but like it's the only planet we've ever really had in like a Star Wars game that's like completely original.
Oh yeah, it's very cool. I really like.
Was Mon Calamari? Well, obviously, the species
Dak.
was. I guess it was. I guess it was established as a water world before Manaan, wasn't it?
Go out of this
Dark
room
Empire.
and shut the door.
Yeah, so I guess Manaan is discount.
Camino.
Mon Calamari.
Rennie, just go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
Attack of the
Camino
Clones.
too.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, from here we get, like, basically what we're going to be doing for the next, like...
yeah, the game lets you
12 hours
just pick a
games.
planet. You can go to any planet you want. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get into, like, the nitty-gritty of it, if you want to follow the exact, like, strategy guide of it, you're supposed to, according to the strategy guide, you're supposed to go to Tatooine, Kashyyyk, Manaan, and then Korriban last.
I think it goes off of
I did my
how
first playthrough.
many. I think it goes off of how many Force users you have to fight on each planet.
Well, yeah, which would make
Is how it
sense.
goes off of. Which also and then also fetch quests.
True. But yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter which one you pick. We were kind of...
Yeah, you can pick any planet.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Any option's viable.
Yeah, you can go through any one. Obviously, certain ones are going to have, like, better, like, more fun outcomes. Like, obviously, if you go to Tatooine first, you're going to get to have... Actually, I think you have to go to Tatooine second, because you have to have Bastila in your party to trigger an NPC to come and tell you that Bastila's mom is looking for her. So, essentially, if you go to Kashyyyk first, you're always going to have, like, the best outcome as far as, like, your parties...
I think you get that
fetch quests.
even if you just go to Tatooine first.
That could also be.
I mean, there's a couple of like glaring things, like if you get like Kashyyyk last, because you get a party member on Kashyyyk, so if you go there last, then like you don't get that party member till also on Tatooine. So if you go either of those last, you don't get it until like the very end of the game, which kind of sucks. But,
yeah, it's kind of
the long and the short of it is there are a lot of different ways to play Kotor.
Yeah, you could literally
and
even just going through like and just going to planets in different orders. There's like at least like 10 different options. I think you could mathematically take.
And depending on
you
like
don't have to worry about difficulty because like enemies aren't at a set level. Like you can, like for example, you can go to Korriban and they'll be a lot weaker early on in the game than if you go there last.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about it being like a BioWare game is like at the end of the day it doesn't really matter. Like yeah, there's a air quotes like canon playthrough that you can do and you go to everything like in order, but yeah, I mean like going planet to planet, like if you go to just to like jump into Tatooine, like if you go there, you're basically what are you going to be dealing with on Tatooine? You're dealing with Tusken Raiders.
and Jawas.
And Jawas. Well, not really. Kind of.
And depending on like who you have in your party, you'll get like different reactions from the characters. Like when you get dialogue, it's kind of like Mass Effect, which is made by BioWare. So if you play Mass Effect and you go into KOTOR, it's very similar with the party system. You pick two characters, and depending on how you act, they'll like react to you in different ways, and you get like party influence. Ooh.
No, you don't get influence.
Everyone in the
till
party
KOTOR 2.
likes that.
You don't get influence till KOTOR 2.
No, but like, not like influence, but they'll react differently to you depending
Oh,
on
yeah,
what you do.
They'll react favorably or they'll be pissed off based off what you do.
But yeah,
pretty much.
Tatooine, basically, it ends up being... Well, you need to get to the star map, but it's in the Dune Sea, and you have to work with Zerka to get to the Dune Sea, because you have to have a hunter's permit, and you can also, at this point, get HK-47, who really... like you don't, and that's the great thing about Kotor is you don't need HK-47. Like if you have him, it makes the story better. But if you don't get HK-47, he's essentially an optional companion. Then you have to kill. You have to kill every single Tusken Raider, and you don't get the storyteller.
Get him though, man.
Oh yeah, so
he's a great character.
Yeah, he's probably, besides like Revan and Malik, I'd say he's like the most iconic character from KOTOR 1 and 2.
Oh, he's gotta
and
be.
you need HK-47 basically to be a translator droid for the Tuskens, right?
Yeah, he's also he's a combat droid who also he's evil C-3PO basically.
Yeah.
I was completely. First time I met him, I really thought like, even like after reading the strategy guide, like I said, I guess I didn't really pay attention to it, but like I just thought he was just gonna be a robot. Like I thought he was just gonna talk like a regular robot, and then like I meet him and he's like super violent and like he like just wants to kill everything he sees, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk like other droids in Star Wars. He has this very different way of talking where he's got to be like, statement, I like cheese, or query, what is that?
Query, how can I kill these meatbags, master?
Right, because because of his model, he doesn't really have like inflection, so he has to like clarify things before he says them.
Yeah, statement, I fucked your mother. But I mean...
Okay, wow.
I mean, to jump ahead, like essentially Tatooine is basically just a big fetch quest. Either you kill all the Tuskens for Zerka, or you get the best outcome, which is you get HK, and he translates for you, and you get the Tuskens to stop attacking Zerka, like diplomatically, and you get the storyteller, which is the best thing Star Wars has ever done in the history of Star Wars.
Yeah. So not to jump right into the storyteller, but so Tatooine, it's like a town. Is it Anchorhead? Is it Mos Eisley?
Anchorhead.
It's Anchorhead.
Anchorhead, the ancient site of Anchorhead. It's very interesting.
Yeah, so we get to go through there. Yeah, it's basically like if you've ever been to like a little like shitty small town in your state, Anchorhead is that small town. Like it's garbage. Like there's two things to do. There's the cantina, or the hunting lodge.
Not even half a square mile.
Yeah,
I like it. You got the city, and then you go out and you get like this kind of little open area outside of the city where you can see the whole Dune Sea. But in classic video game fashion, if you try and go out beyond it, you'll get blown up or whatever.
Oh, you get turned around.
It doesn't let you go.
Oh, sure.
But by far the most interesting thing on Tatooine is, or at least the most interesting part, is making friends with the Tuskens.
Yeah, it's the first ever kind of like Star Wars media where like the Tuskens aren't immediately like presented as like, oh god, what does Owen say in episode 2? Like they're basically like it's the first time you ever get to
savages.
Yeah, it's
mindless monsters.
Yeah, mindless monsters. Yeah, it's the first ever time you get to treat Tuskens as something other than like subhuman, like murder machines.
Yeah, right. They have a culture.
Yeah, they have a culture. Like they have the storyteller, who
and they're humans.
Oh yeah, they're humans.
Oh
yeah, they're humans. Yeah, Keith, feel free to stop us at any time. But yeah, you get the Tusken storyteller after you like beat the good option for the Tusken storyline, which is you get to go kill a crate dragon, which is in itself it's super cool. This is like the iconic crate dragon design.
It's kind of a lot like the crate dragon scene from Mandalorian season 2,
but with more minds.
Sorry, Cade. We already killed a crate dragon and bounty hunter a year earlier. It's not cool anymore.
No,
shit.
No, it's cool because bounty hunter doesn't have the storyteller.
Of course,
storyteller.
If you bring a crate dragon pearl, so the star map is in a crate dragon's lair, so you got to kill the crate dragon. That's part of the main quest. And then if you bring the pearl back to the Tuskens, then they'll summon the storyteller, and he'll tell you the history of the Sand People.
Which is also, coincidentally, the history of humanity in Star Wars.
Ooh.
It's the coolest thing ever. Like, if you've never played this game, and you want to know, like, where humanity came from, like, just go on YouTube and look up Tusken Raider Storyteller. It's it's the coolest thing ever. Like, it's this random mystery that, like, had never really been, like, a thing. Like, how humanity is in Star Wars. And basically, it's like... I'm gushing. Like, I fully admit, like, it's very cool. It solves something...
I mean, you could, like, explain it, because you're not really...
Oh, yeah, so basically, humanity originated on Tatooine. Like, that's just how it is. Sorry, Dawn of the Jedi. Go Grandpa. But, yeah, humanity essentially originated on Tatooine, and then they were whisked away by something we'll figure out later in the game. And then Tatooine was glassed. The builders. And then Tatooine was glassed, and then eventually the winds of Tatooine, like, turned the glass into sand, because if you grind up glass, eventually it just becomes sand. Sorry, that's just biology nerds.
Yeah, sure.
And or geology, whatever. And yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, from there, like, the humans who were left on Tatooine either became Chad Tuskens or the Virgin Jawas. And that's basically...
Oh, Jawas are humans too?
Essentially. They're like an offshoot.
Like mutated humans? Whoa. Is
They're...
that why they have glow?
They're not cool Tuskens, essentially.
Or they have glowing eyes?
But yeah, I mean, I dated a Jawa once, so, I mean...
Oh, God.
Very hairy.
Yeah.
You're furry.
But yeah, I think that's why they hate outsiders, though, is it, like, reminds them of their past selves, because, like, I guess the Tuskens' ancestors were, like, very technologically advanced, and they were, I guess it's kind of, I guess you can kind of say they're like humans in real life, like, I guess
they've been turned into, like,
destroying
backwards
the planet,
savages.
with, you know, and then when they were, a lot of them were taken off world, so, like, they kind of, like, blame the destruction of the planet on, like, I guess the hubris of the technologically advanced part of their culture, and so they completely separated from it, and now they're very down to earth, sand worshipping, robe wearing sand people.
Yeah, and it's like the coolest thing. It's like the most, like, un-Star Wars but yet Star Wars thing that Star Wars has ever done. And I basically wish
it
that
just reveals that sand people are just regular old humans under there.
Yeah.
Well, like, your character comes to, like, the conclusion on his own, because they were like...
How do they make those noises, then?
It's just...
You can't make that noise?
I can't do the... I can't do the sand people. I can only do Wookiees.
Like, I think the dude, or the storyteller's like, yeah, they saw the humans returning to Tatooine, and they reminded them of their ancient abducted. And then you ask, like, oh, wait a minute, is that a cultural or a physical similarity? And if you ask that, they'll attack you.
Well, no, no, because I don't think they attack you right away. Because HK basically says,
well, he warns you.
Yeah, he warns you. But, like, if you keep prying, then yeah, the Tuskens are like, hey, fuck off.
Yeah, I think his words are like, if you mean to suggest that humanity is ancestrally linked to ancient Tatooine, you will stretch their belief system to its pitiful meatbag maximum.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's
okay, but it's kind of the game sort of winking at you there, I guess.
It's definitely the game is trying to say, like, humanity originated on Tatooine, and if you disagree, then I hope you die. So I hope whoever wrote Dawn of the Jedi just dies.
All right, great, and yeah, so that is the Tatooine human story. What else happens on Tatooine besides that?
Pretty much nothing. That's
yeah. There's a fun little.
You get the Star Forge map, and then
you get the star map. There's also a fun little side quest of a dude who's so into hunting he neglects his wife, and she reprograms his droids to blow up if he moves. And you can either kill him, fun. You can either murder him in satanic fashion, or you can save him. But yeah,
very fun.
Yeah, Tatooine is pretty one and done. The biggest highlight is the storyteller, because it's
got a swoop track.
It does have a swoop track. All the planets you go to besides Korriban have a swoop track.
Kashyyyk.
And
Also,
And it looks really
yeah,
cool.
Kashyyyk-
It's just
Kashyyyk-
cool
yeah,
to
Kashyyyk and
kind
Korriban don't
of
have
walk
suit tracks.
around.
Yeah, you get to go around and be like, oh my god, this is Tatooine. This is like the Star Wars planet. Like this is where Luke...
Dad, this is just like in Star Wars.
Yeah, basically.
like that movie I watched.
Yeah, I mean, well, unfortunately, there's no Binary Sunset, which is, the best piece of Star Wars music ever.
Oof.
You do get to see the twin suns, though.
True, but they aren't setting.
Unfortunately, you don't get to feel the heat. We'll save that for the 4D remake.
Yeah. I'd like my scratch and sniff Tatooine, where I get to smell the burning corpses of all the Tuscans I murdered.
But yeah, not to get too sidetracked here.
But yeah, not to get too sidetracked.
We got Kashyyyk.
Yeah, Kashyyyk would be next if you're traveling in canon order.
Which we are.
Yeah, which we are, I suppose. But Kashyyyk is it's also very, very fun. This is where the Wookiee companion Zalbar, like, it's basically his planet.
Well, I would hope so. He's the Wookiee.
Yeah, and he's got a whole pass there, and you get to do a cool quest with that.
Yeah, I
Wookiee
think
quest.
the main conflict on that planet is the Wookiees are being enslaved by the corporation Zerka, and you can choose to either help them or
Or
I guess not help them.
Or be Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So you just, I mean, it is pretty straightforward. They tell you to go down to the Shadowlands, which is like, I guess, the surface or near the surface, like really far down, and it's really dark. Base of the trees, very dangerous.
Yeah, because
get to meet Jolie.
Yeah, Jolie Bindo.
Yeah, Jolie Bindo, definitely one of the fan favorites.
He's pretty cool.
He's like old man, kind of tired of like Jedi and the Sith. He kind of walks the line in between a little bit.
He is he's also known as the other Black Jedi besides Mace Windu.
Yeah, he's black
and bald.
Voiced by another very famous voice actor.
Keith David?
No, that's not Keith David.
No, who does him then?
His actor voiced Taris in Halo 2.
Oh, yeah, he's great. So just it's Tartarus from Halo 2. Okay, yeah, got it. Locked in.
I mean, Kevin Michael Richardson.
Sure.
Is his name.
Yeah, so Kashyyyk, I just remember you have to fight some stuff in like the upper levels, like fight some monsters, and then you go down to the force floor. There's like some Sith there. You gotta fight them.
Well, there's
exploring. Well, no Sith. I don't think there's any Sith on Kashyyyk.
Not unless you go.
I guess it's all Zerka. They just kind of all the bad guys just kind of blend together.
Yeah, it's all Zerka. Or if you go there third, you fight Darth Bandon before you go on the lift back up to the upper level.
Yeah, I did that fight. Took all his stuff.
But Kevin Michael Richardson, he's in a ton of shit, and I mean his voice is very recognizable. He's the principal from American Dad, and he's probably the most. I mean, I guess besides like Karth and Bastila, he's definitely the most like recognizable companion from Knights of the Old Republic.
I haven't gotten anything about him like outside of KOTOR at all.
Oh well, anytime you leave and go back onto the Ebon Hawk, just like question him, and he'll have a story for.
He has great.
He's definitely funny. He's very interesting.
Yeah, very funny.
Yeah,
like, tells you interesting little stories.
Yeah, him and HK are definitely like the comic relief, I would say, of the party.
Yeah, like Jolie's kind of like, like the voice of like the morally gray areas of Star Wars, which Star Wars isn't usually morally gray, but he's kind of one of the guys that kind of introduced that.
Why is he on Kashyyyk again? Like, is he just hiding out?
He's just in like exile.
Yeah,
kind of exile, or pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't want anything to do with the Jedi or civilization, really.
Yeah, he's just a angry boomer, cell phone bad.
Pretty much.
But yeah, no. Jolie, he's like the funny character. Like he's always got like a wisecrack. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi with like dementia, basically, or Alzheimer's.
Yeah. and he criticizes stuff about the Jedi, like not being allowed to love, and he talks about stuff like that.
Yeah,
Talks about like he has an interesting little tidbit with Karth. Like Karth will ask Jolie why he came along, and then like Jolie talks about like it's like, hey, you know, it's if we don't win, it'll be bad for a couple hundred years, but you know, eventually, you know, it won't be so bad. It's like the war you're fighting isn't the most important war of all time just because you're in it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that.
He's kind of like the first, I'd say, big, like, kind of deep take on like the morality of Star Wars.
He's like a philosopher.
Yeah, he's a philosopher. I mean, to hop into his stats, I mean, you know, people will say, you know, oh, well, Jolie's a great Jedi. I mean, like, he is, like, in the sense that he's outside of the Order, but his 55 on the Force points would disagree. His 55 on the Force points would agree. Yeah, he's slightly light side. Like, 50 is, like, base neutral. 100 is, like, perfect light side, and negative 100 is Satan. But, yeah, Jolie, he's very clearly like working towards like the ideals of like the light side, but like he just isn't in the Jedi Order. So in that,
he just doesn't give a shit anymore. Like he's an old man. He's already been through his own war.
Yeah,
and he sees it happening again. He's like, I'm just tired of all this shit.
Yeah, he's literally your grandpa who went to Nam.
Yeah, of course, and then he comes along with you because he's bored of living in Tatooine in Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he inexplicably wants to join the party.
Yeah, it's because
he lived in Kashyyyk for 20 years.
Yeah, he's been like shitting in a stump for like the past since Exar Kun lost.
To fight and survival in the dangerous forest war of Kashyyyk.
He's been eating Kinrath.
He's been eating Kinrath with a side of Tatch gland. But yeah. The story of Kashyyyk, it's again, like Tatooine, it's either you're going to dick over the native population or you're going to essentially save them. So as you go, Kashyyyk is also very interesting to play through later after the spoiler alert revelation that you're Revan, because the what?
You said revelization. I'm sure you meant revelation.
Yeah,
but then that made me think revenization.
Yeah,
Revenation.
The revenation, the revelation, same thing.
The revelation.
But yeah, you get to do this fun. Again, it's basically just a personality quiz from BuzzFeed after you kind of go through the Shadowlands, which it's a very cool like location, but it's essentially you're there to fight Mandalorians and monsters.
Well, there's another open area. There is a cool thing. The computer is kind of it's kind of like the storyteller. Like it tells you the origins of Kashyyyk.
Yeah,
the Starforge thing.
Yeah, the computer,
it'll tell you that like
gives you some info. Isn't it like a holographic Rakatan or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
It tells you that like Kashyyyk wasn't originally like suited for life or something, and that they
you can ask all these cool questions.
Yeah,
did, like bioseeding.
Well, because even Jolie mentions that even the trees are strangers to Kashyyyk.
Yeah, and he mentions that like the Wookiees are like a gardening species, and that they weren't on Kashyyyk originally.
Wow.
They were put on there.
Yeah,
one of the cooler concepts that KOTOR introduces to Star Wars is the idea of this precursor species, the Rakatans, or the Rakata, I believe.
Yeah, the Rakata. It definitely.
What are the precursor race from Halo?
Forerunners. Yeah, they're literally they're the Forerunners, but Star Wars.
I really like it. They sort of look like
now. The Forerunners are violent. I guess they didn't.
No.
I don't think they used to be in Halo lore, but
the Forerunners weren't violent. You're being insane. That never happened.
They retconned it.
I guess they kind of look like skinny Mon Calamari, sort of in a way. They got like they got these like bug-eyed stock eyes, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they got that little big.
Or the Mon Calamari, but without like the George Lucas like gizzard neck on the bottom there.
Yeah, but this is our first. One of the first introductions we get to like the Infinite Empire, besides the storyteller on Tatooine.
Oh, they look like the sleeve stack from Land of the Lost. You know.
Yeah, this is our first. Yeah, it's our first like physical representation of what the Rakata are, And they did a really good job of it. Like, it doesn't look like any other Star Wars alien that had shown up before, so.
Pretty unique design for sure.
Yeah, so we get that, and then from there, depending on the order you do the planets, either you get a BuzzFeed personality quiz of either you're the good guy or Satan. If you're the good guy, then you have to fight, is it 2 droids?
Yep. 2 very dangerous droids.
Yeah, you fight 2 droids, and then if you beat it, it's like, oh, yeah, you passed the test. Or if you answer the Satan questions of like, oh, would you abandon Zalbar to be stabbed to death, basically? Or would you abandon a planet to be destroyed if it could bolster your resources somewhere else? Yeah, you take another BuzzFeed personality test, basically. And if you're the good guy, then you have to fight the droids as a test. And if you're the bad guy, then the computer's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, please look at the star map.
That's right. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, you have to answer all the questions in a certain way, or else the computer's like, nope.
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
And then also in the Shadowlands, you encounter Zalbar's father, who is Freyr.
Nope, Freyr.
Yeah, you encounter him.
Don't you have to like fight like a monster with him or something?
Yeah, it's either you murder him in cold blood, the Satan option, or you go and you fight a Tyrannatak, which is the sacred beast of Baka, and you recover one of the parts of Baka's sword, who's like he's basically King Arthur, but for the Wookiees.
Sure.
And yeah, then you go back and either, again, you have the Satan option of enslaving the Wookiees for Zerka or freeing the Wookiees, and you get to give Baka's sword to Zalbar, and he gets a unique vibroblade.
Yep.
Yeah, unless you're doing like a playthrough where you kind of just, pick whatever you want. You're probably just going to either just go good all the way through or bad all the way through. So, yeah, I guess at a certain point it kind of just turns into just
I gotta say it's a lot more fun. Sometimes it's a lot more fun one way or the other. I'd say it's a lot more fun to do the light side option in this case. Or at least if you're dark side, like...
Oh, in this particular case?
Yeah, or at least if you're dark side, let him like think you're gonna side with him and then betray him.
Yeah, there's a couple neat little plot twists you can do that make you the galaxy's worst asshole.
Isn't there a part where you have to clear Zalbar's name of murder or something?
Yeah, essentially, it goes along with the main
trial.
No, there's not a Wookiee trial, but
on its own.
Yeah.
Or you have to clear his name.
Yeah, because it's either you prove that Zalbar was justified for being a Mad Claw, or Zalbar basically just embraces it essentially, and he's proto Hanhar. But yeah, I mean, Kashyyyk it's really fun. You get a lot of good lore, but at the end of the day, it's pretty simple.
And also the Wookiee voices get a little old.
Yeah, it does. There's one voice.
File
for the Wookiees.
One of the more interesting things this game does is it'll have some characters speak English, other characters will speak just totally alien languages, so you'll get Huttese and kind of other stuff mixed in there along with the dialogue, and you basically just read the English dialogue below that.
Initially, you get the impression that okay, they have the alien languages for immersion, and it that's partly true. It helps with the immersion, but you start to realize that they have alien voices because they didn't want to.
They didn't want to voice
all the lines in English.
Yeah, a lot of the lines for the aliens it's just the same thing, looped and looped and looped. Yeah.
Oh yeah, alien languages are very repetitive.
Yeah, you will hear the same stuff and same words over again, but it's fine if you just kind of.
Mickey Glabimogo.
Chuta.
Chuta. Wonga de Habonga.
And at a certain point, I kind of would just, if it was alien dialogue, I read pretty fast, so I'll just read the dialogue and then just skip before they finish saying the alien stuff. But it's fun. It's I do like all the all the little alien voices they have. It's it's immersive. You feel like you're in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, well I mean, and then
It's better than just everyone just speaks basic all the time, you know.
yeah, it's really fun, and I'm sure it helped them save their budget, to get good voice acting in there. But speaking of alien languages that just rip onto your mind, next up would be Manaan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I like
the
Wookiees.
Wookiees. You get the Selkath.
Yeah, you get the self-cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I kind of mentioned
Droopy
earlier,
mustache aliens. Droopy
Manaan
mustache fish.
Manaan is really fun in that it's the only. This and the Unknown World are the only worlds that are made up for this game, and the Selkath are like their big made-up species.
Yeah, I remember when I got
Kotor?
to Manaan,
Yeah.
I just remember thinking it was really cool, and it was like definitely my favorite planet of the game, just because it was just such a interesting concept.
Well, I mean, there's that, and it kind of fits with the Star Wars trope of having a planet be one, like, one...
Yeah, one geographical
Yeah.
or topographical feature.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, well, not just that. I'm like kind of referring to the like the planet's like has neutral political status because they got the goods,
yeah,
so they sell to like both the Sith Empire and the Republic.
yes.
Both sides got to do diplomacy, which
Yeah.
is especially awkward for the Sith because the Sith are just used to
Being
just
assholes.
taking whatever they want and and conquering
Yeah.
worlds but they have to actually use diplomacy with the Silkath.
Yeah, so Manaan is neutral territory, so you'll see like Sith troopers walking around and Republic troopers walking around, and sometimes they get into fights and stuff.
Yep. They can't get it. You gotta. Well, I guess assault is illegal in every country, but if they get caught fighting, then there's severe penalties.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what it reminds me of, but it's kind of just like, it's like when you go into a bar, you gotta check your weapons. Everyone's got to play nice inside the bar, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
Silkath aren't very.
And then
Not very-
mystery abounds on Manaan.
yeah. We get.
I think it's a very interesting planet. Like it's like you got like it's like being on a spaceport. You got like a melting pot of a lot of different types of citizens, and then obviously, the shit below, underwater.
Well, I mean, the ship below is literally just spooky,
Super
giant,
cool.
spooky giant shark.
Yeah, both areas combined together make for just one cool total package.
Yeah, it is, and it's really cool. You get like a lot of fun espionage between the Republic and the Sith. And it's really
Yeah,
fun.
they're like-
Manaan
trying to-
politics.
They're trying to get a leg up on the other, while trying to maintain appearances with the Silkath.
Yeah.
But in secret, they're like, all right, let's see how we can get more Kolto than the other guys.
Yeah, lots of underhanded political maneuvering, and of course Kolto is basically the Bacta of Kotor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They want the
And,
Kolto man.
And then, the culmination of the whole, how far is your government willing to go? It's like you get the Sunry murder trial. Is a big.
It's very
I think
fun.
it's one of
Yeah,
the best, probably one of the best quests in the game.
Oh yeah.
So, one of Jolie's friends, Sunry's old war hero, probably with the war with Exarchun. Doesn't really say which one. They just say he's a war hero. But he's on trial for murdering a Sith woman. But it wasn't in combat. It was just they were in a hotel and he just murdered her. So obviously the chick was a Sith, but you have to go to trial and defend him, and you have to prove his innocence.
yeah, and it's fun. And I mean, you can basically end it with either Sunry gets to walk free or he gets fried.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
And,
really you get to do.
spoiler alert, you find out he actually did murder the Sith woman, and if you do, then you have to you have to say will I defend him knowing that he's a murderer? But if I let him take the fall for this, if I tell them that he actually murdered him, then what will they do to the Republic? Are they gonna restrict their culto and stuff? So it's you got a moral dilemma there.
Yeah.
Jolie feels like shit about it.
Yeah, I mean, basically it comes down to the Colto melange. So,
Kotor melange.
Yeah, very cool. You get to like gather evidence and stuff. Like you have to talk to people in like the bar, and like the hotel. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely feels like another. It's a very just kind of open area. You don't really know exactly what to do. You just kind of talking. You just have to talk to everyone and like gather information on everything. Very immersive.
Yeah,
man.
and I mean,
it was really pretty. You know, you got this like cool little futuristic city, kind of just sitting on top of the water.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's literally just the only city on the planet. So it's the inverse of like Taris or Coruscant, where the whole planet is a city versus the whole planet's an ocean with a Hoto city.
Right, and the Selkath mostly live underwater, or entirely pretty much live underwater.
Yeah, they're fish people.
The fish people.
But yeah, I mean, from there we get to go from like this bright, shiny, like kind of similar to like Taris with the upper city and the undercity, but there's no lower city to bridge the gap. We go straight up from like.
No, you just go straight to horror nightmare.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, we eventually get to the Republic Embassy, and through some kind of means, we descend down into hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what they said. Like it's like some science thing going on down there, and they haven't gotten any word from it or something.
Yeah,
the science team went dark.
Yeah, the Harakert Rift research station,
or like a mining operation or some shit.
Yeah, the Harakert Rift.
Yeah, they're trying to mine Kolto down there.
Yeah, mining Kolto. Like it's off the books. Like the Republic's doing it to like help their war effort because they're getting dicked.
Wildly illegal, and like a couple of the Selkath like are helping them do it because they know that if the Sith win, then they're fucked. But like, yeah, it's like top secret. But something went wrong down there, and you got to find out what happened. And
yeah, and like what happened was like the Selkath got like infected with some virus that made them all go crazy and like kill everyone.
It's not a virus. It's the ancient Phyraxian shark woke up and basically used ancient Phyraxian shark telepathy. To basically,
to make them kill everybody.
Yeah, to make them kill everybody who isn't a fish.
Mm.
And this is where
it's kind of like a Raccool kind of situation, basically. So they're all like zombies. You gotta get to get some cool just mob actions, tons of fighting and stuff, and you gotta like explore this whole underwater facility. It's really cool. There's like puzzles and stuff. Get to go out in like a dumpy space or submarine suit.
It's one of the times where the atmosphere. Like the ambiance, it shines, like the music is great. Like the music is like
such a creepy area,
frantic, and yeah, the music is like the music when you're not in combat is like very creepy, very like anxious. It's like what's down here, and then like then when you get into combat, it's like you're like freaking out. Like the music is just like you're frightened, and it's just great. And you can hear
I was totally
water
down for
wants
it,
to like bust through the walls and stuff. Water's like dripping through, like you feel like at any moment the water could just like come in and just fucking drown you. It's great.
Yeah,
it's almost like you've been transported to like another world. When you go down there, and there's like it's like an apocalypse situation. There's like other survivors down there.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it turns into Jaws.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So essentially, there's this little scuba walk that you get to go on between one section of the research station and the other.
Kill some fish.
You get to murder some sharks, which I mean, who hasn't like dreamt of murdering sharks? You zap them with the sonic emitter, and yeah, you end up to the other part. You encounter the only other two like sane people, essentially, and again, you're met with the Satan or the Saint response, where you either poison the Kolto Rift and kill the giant shark that caused all the Selkath to go insane, or you blow up the research station's mining operation, and that makes it go away like naturally because you disturbed Mother Nature, bro.
Yep, it's no longer pissed because you're no longer stealing all its Kolto, so it just leaves. Lets you get the star map. It even watches you. It just stares at you while you get the star map.
Yeah,
but right, it's underwater at the star map.
Yeah, it's underwater.
But Yeah, I mean, yeah, like again, like pretty much, I guess all the choices are pretty much binary, right? You choose good or bad, but and, at least they're there. At least you get to choose, right?
Yeah, well, and I mean, also, breaking into the Sith embassy earlier, you get to find a bunch of Selkath who are basically, like, brainwashed by the Sith, and you fight your way through it, and that has its consequences later, and you basically have
I'm
to...
not sure if I broke into the Selkath embassy.
Sith embassy, and yes, you did. You have to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to do it because you got to get the data module, and then for the guy, and then once you get it for him, he'll give you the sub to get down to the base.
Yeah.
Did it involve like a hangar bay? Or doing something with a hangar?
You can. That's one of the ways to get into the base.
Yeah, it's either you go in
Okay,
you go in through the hangar bay, or you go in through the front door with, like, the stolen security code. But yeah, you make your way through a Sith base before you go down to the Harakut Rift and kill everything inside, essentially. And it comes around and it bites you in the ass, because after you come up successful in finding the star map, you have to have this kind of like little lawyer minigame, essentially.
Yeah, you have to go on trial.
Yeah, you're on trial for, like, disturbing the Kolto, and it turns out really fun, because if you have your arbiter represent you the entire way through, you'll always lose, no matter what you do. And so you have to dismiss your arbiter, who is basically your lawyer, and you have to do everything by yourself, and it's either the Republic is essentially, like, kicked off of Manaan, or it's you make them realize, like, oh, I had to do this because the Sith are all dickwads.
Well, there's like 2 trials. So there's one where you come out, where you raid the Sith base the first time because you need the data module. You come out and you have to explain why you're in there, and you can just make up some bullshit. But yeah, like if you let your arbiter do it, he'll be like, "Yeah, he killed a bunch of Sith, but I plead insanity, and it doesn't work."
And then you get electrocuted to death.
Yeah, but like, alluding back to the side quest with the Selkath, if you like convince the Selkath that they're being lied to by the Sith, and then you can get like some data pad that shows like their whole plan to take over the Selkath youth and like eventually their government. If you get that data pad, then you just get taken off the hook immediately. Otherwise, you got to make up some bullshit lie so you can get out. But like, then there's the you get arrested again after you find the star map. You're like, oh my god, here we go again. But yeah, you either get banned from Manaan, or if you're a smooth talker, you can stay.
Yeah, so it's either you get to go in the hangar bay only, or you basically get full reign of everywhere except the Harakut Rift again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I did it, I just got kicked off Manaan.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
On with the story.
You can stay on Manaan no matter what. You can get kicked off Manaan either way too. It's like if you save the shark, and then you're really bad at talking, you can get kicked off Manaan. And then obviously if you poison the shark and you tell the truth, you get kicked off Manaan. If you, if you don't kill the shark and you tell them that you saved the shark, then you can stay. And if you kill the shark but you don't mention the shark, and then you just say like, if you tell them you killed the shark, they get pissed off and they want to kill you, and they kick you off the planet. But like if you don't say anything about the shark and all they know is that Kolto's destroyed, you can stay. If you kick me off the planet, I'll tell everybody that the Kolto's destroyed, and you can stay.
Yeah, it's very
evil.
Yeah, like there's different ways to dick around up, but essentially, as long as you like did all the side quests for the Genadaran, which is the assassins that we don't need to get into, and the Sunry murder quest, you've essentially done everything on Manaan.
Yeah,
yeah. There's not much else besides like a couple fun little dialogues. If you go back later in the game. But yeah, from here we get to go on to the Leviathan. After you leave, after you leave the third planet, you get brought onto the Leviathan, which is Darth Malik's flagship, and you get to do the Prison Break quest, which is probably one of the standout like missions from the game.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. It like showcases like all of the party members' abilities. You can choose which one you like to use the best.
Yeah, so like if you choose Jolie, it's a little bit easier because you can just like force persuade your way through it. If you do,
Use like
I think I chose
Mission.
HK-47, but I can't remember.
Yeah, HK will like, he'll
Murder
deactivate,
everybody.
and then he like has like a backup chip, and he wakes back up and murders
Yeah,
everybody.
I liked that. Yeah, that was
Or
cool.
Mission will like piss off a guard, pickpocket him, and break out of the cell.
and then
Candaris
he
uses regen abilities.
he like fakes his death and then he uses regen stims to like come back alive and break out. It's really fun. It stands out, and interspersed between this are little interrogation scenes between your player character Bastila and Karth. You get a fun little OT reference where you can say that the Republic base or the Jedi base is hidden on Alderaan.
Yeah.
Or no, can't you say? Oh, right. You say it's hidden on Alderaan instead of Dantooine.
Yeah.
Because it's actually on Dantooine.
Yeah, and essentially, like, if you lie about all the answers, you get dark side points, but Bastila is like, oh, it's okay, like, you're getting zapped with fucking lightning, so, like, I don't blame you. Or you can lie about everything, and Bastila is like, oh my god, you're hot.
We did forget to mention the little bits where you kind of get to, like, do turret sections and, like, basically do the TIE fighter, fight sequence and shoot TIE fighters.
Yeah, they're
Sith
sequence...
TIE fighters.
Basically, well, after you escape
Every time you
Taris,
leave a planet, you
Another
do
mini
more
game.
Of that.
yeah, it's another mini game where you get to shoot Sith interceptors out of the sky. On the Xbox version, it's broken and you never can lose. But on the PC version, you can actually lose, and it gives you a game over.
If you lose, you're kind of like you're bad.
Yeah, it's basically impossible to lose. If you just sit in one spot and mash the fire button, you'll win.
Like, you can do it on keyboard, like without a mouse, and you can still do it.
Yeah,
Not very hard.
but it's fun. You get to do it a couple times through it. Like, gives a little tiny bit of variety to like the gameplay. But yeah, the Leviathan's really fun. You get to fight through a bunch of enemies. The jailbreak part is like a standout quest. BioWare loves doing jailbreaks in their RPGs. This one,
another dungeon type quest. There's just kind of like a bunch of rooms and stuff you gotta fight through with enemies.
Go for a spacewalk.
yeah, you get to go for a spacewalk, which was added in for basically no
For
reason.
no reason. You get to see the pretty stars, I guess.
Yeah, you get to see the stars. There's like some interceptors that kind of fly around and look cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much no reason.
Yeah, it's literally just there because they're like, oh, it's 2003 and the stars look cool.
You need a spacewalk.
But yeah, from there we get to go to the bridge and we confront Admiral Kareth, who is... I remember being like a really tough fight my first couple times playing through, but after you...
Yeah, you got like a room full of dark Jedi and like Sith troopers throwing grenades at you.
Yeah, but again, like we mentioned earlier, like the game isn't hard if you know how to build your character. So
Yeah, or if you know how to do combat, like you know how to use shields and stuff, like the game tells you to do.
it's not that hard, but it's fun. Like the mini boss fights and the boss fights and stuff, they're really fun to get like thrown in and just have something that gives you a bit more of a challenge. But after you defeat Admiral Kareth and everyone on the bridge, he whispers something to Karth that causes Karth to go, donkey shit mode. And then we give it about 10 minutes later of fighting through more Sith troops, and we get the gigantic twist that everybody's known about since, like, 2003. We get a really fun little cutscene that explains basically everything, and then we find out that your character that you've been playing the entire time through is, big shocker from 2003, but you're playing as the evil Sith Lord Darth Revan the entire time.
Oh.
Fortunately, thanks to pop culture and online fanboys, it was probably spoiled for you. At least it was spoiled for me.
I got it spoiled for me from the strategy guide before I even got to that part in the game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
Never got to experience it.
Fortunately, I did get to experience it, and like the Vader twist in Empire when I was 4 years old, This one at 8, just absolutely, I just shit bricks. I'm like, oh my god, I'm the bad guy.
I didn't get to experience the Vader reveal or the Revan reveal.
I got to get both, very fortunately, and again, call back to the OT, like it's the Vader reveal, but in 2003.
Yeah, but yeah, you find out that Revan was captured by the Jedi after Malak fired on his vessel, and they captured him. His mind was wounded or whatever, so they implanted an identity loyal to the Republic. So that's why you started out the game as like a Republic soldier, and they wanted to use your, because like throughout the game you have like little dreams about star maps, and you had dreams about Revan and stuff, and they use those dreams to lead you to the planets where the star maps are, and that was their plan. And you find out, and you can choose, I guess like everything else in the game, you can choose to either get really pissed about it and be dark side, or you can choose forgiveness.
Yeah, and all throughout the game leading up to this were like these visions and stuff, and you were like, you're connected to Bastila, because things, and then it's all revealed here why you're connected.
But that's another reason to replay the game, because like, there's a lot of people that say like, oh, I saw it coming, wasn't really shocked, but like, you know, if you get the reveal and then you play through the game again, you're like, okay, yeah, they were giving you hints the whole time.
Well, yeah, the little cutscene that plays before like it's revealed, like they go through every little like line of dialogue that's like a giveaway of like, they say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. It can completely make you forget who you are, and
yeah. Which I think that's an interesting. That's like a plot twist in and of itself, because like when Karth says that, you're like, oh, he's talking about the Sith. He's talking about the Sith interrogation, and then you come back to that and you're like, oh, the Jedi did that.
Yeah, it's a really fun inversion, because I mean, like, this came out after Attack of the Clones, so we really never got to see how the Jedi like respond. I mean, like, yeah, there were bits in, like, Tales of the Jedi, but we never get to see how the Jedi respond to, like, a full-scale, like, war besides, you know, show up to the Geonosian arena with their lightsabers out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like, probably one of the first instances of, you're like, oh, maybe the Jedi, get their hands dirty sometimes.
Jedi bad? Jedi evil?
This is kind of
Jedi
kind of weird.
Sith the good guys and Jedi evil.
But yeah, so I guess Revan was like really injured or whatever, and how did the Jedi how did they amnesia him?
It's kind of a little discrepancy in the game. It's either like Revan got amnesia for getting shot by turbo lasers, or the Jedi Council like mind erased him, or it's like
it's both.
It's both. Yeah, it's,
which I think they don't really say how they programmed his mind, but like I'm inclined to just think like,
and they were kind of just gonna like reboot him or whatever, but then the ship got attacked by Malak, so like shit happened.
Yeah, basically.
Well, like, okay, so like it was how it started was like Bastila's fleet ambushed like both him and Malak, but they were trying to capture Revan on his ship, but Malak said fuck it, and he fired on Revan's ship, trying to kill both of them.
Right, yeah. The classic Sith betrayal.
Yeah. And it only injured Revan.
Bastila, Bastila is completely fine. She just walks away from it.
Like, Revan really, like, in the cutscene, like, Revan just falls down.
Yeah.
And hits his head.
Bonk.
It's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
but
his helmet did nothing for him.
Yeah. He just hit it. He just got a concussion.
Yeah, but yeah, essentially, you know, we get the big twist of, oh my god, you're the bad guy. And then we get some reactions from your party once you get back to the Ebon Hawk. Karth is basically like, hey, you're a piece of shit, and you ordered my planet to be bombarded.
And Canderous is like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're so cool.
Canderous is like, hi, Kevin.
Hi, Revan.
Hi, Revan.
Yeah,
Hi,
your
Revan.
character basically has to come to terms with being Revan and stuff, and it's kind of like a meta sort of moment there.
Yeah,
I guess if you're light side, you're like, oh, that's not who I am anymore. If you're dark side, you're like, hell yeah.
hell yeah, I'm gonna and we get Mission, who obviously like she's been very personally affected by the Sith. She's like, hey, Revan's a piece of garbage. You fuck off.
Well, she's like, Revan's a piece of shit.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like,
that-
I don't
that's
see you
later.
as Revan. I can't see you as Revan because you've just been this guy that's been with us. Zelvar doesn't give a shit because he has a life debt.
Life dead, and then HK is like, statement. I've known this entire time you're Revan, but I've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to say it because
Well, it's like he does.
convenient
It was like
memory
the
loss.
stimulus. Well, it's like the stimuli. Like he has. You didn't know you were Revan, but like if you did, I don't know. If it's the same thing with the Jolie's the one who knew all along. Jolie's like, I knew, but I didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, Jolie's like, oh, you're the mullet guy. Of course I know who you are.
Yeah, you get everyone's take from the peanut gallery, and then
And
what happens after that?
Well,
Move on.
after that, you go. It's basically just set aside, and you just go to the final planet, which could be Korriban.
Yes.
It could be wherever else. But yeah, you get to Korriban.
One of my favorite planets. Oh no!
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Korriban.
Korriban. Yeah, Korriban. Canonically, officially, whatever, is the final planet. It's basically Dantooine, but full of dicks.
Yeah,
It's the anti-Dantooine.
Dantooine for Sith.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
yeah, it's Edgelord Dantooine. You show up and there's the first
Like
corridor.
immediately.
Yeah, the first corridor you go in. There's a guy who's like, "Hey, these are all like new admittance to the academy. In what way should I torture them?"
Yeah. How should I kill these guys? Should I turn their skin inside out, or should I just blast them with lightning?
And yeah,
It's
you
like, oh, okay.
and yeah, again, you have the option to be either Satan or Jesus, and you're like, "Oh, just let them go. They're below you," or "Oh yeah, just blast them with lightning until they fucking die."
Which Korriban's a really interesting planet because I think Kotor, was it the introduction to both codes,
I know.
Jedi code and the Sith code?
I think they might have showed up in
Tales of the Jedi.
yeah, Tales of the Jedi.
I don't recall from there, but
You learn a lot more, and I think the game does this on purpose. You learn a lot more about the Sith way than you do about the Jedi way. Like the Jedi are very vague about it, and they tell you like find your own meaning, or like the wisdom of these words only come with time. Like the Sith explain what the code means. Like they'll explain it and they'll justify it to you. Like if you ask them questions about it.
Oh yeah,
And I think the game.
yeah, and I already got a lot of that stuff from just like the Darth Bane books, but reading it in Kotor, but playing it in Kotor, it's it all makes sense. I just don't like how the slight difference because in the Sith code at the end, in Kotor they have like the Force shall free me or something like that, and in the Darth Bane books they just shortened it to through victory my chains are broken, and then that's the end of it. And I felt like that was
I
the
guess
better
the Force
ending.
shall free me is kind of redundant.
Kind of
Yeah, that's
superfluous.
Why?
Yeah. Kind of added on there. I don't like that.
But it's not. Yeah.
Well, it's in there to be the anti-Jedi code.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the Jedi code in this? Did they say the Jedi code?
There's no peace. There's
Oh, yeah,
no...
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like very like stoicism, very passive.
The Jedi code and the Sith code are fine. The
Yeah,
only thing that
they're
sucks is
literally
the
just...
gray code. Cringe.
Well, there's no gray code.
Oh,
That's fanon.
There's no great code.
There's no gray
The whole
code.
No,
point.
made one that you see online.
Well, that one
Yeah,
can literally...
They're all cringe.
Yeah, that one can literally... I don't know.
It's like I
drown in
am
some...
I am the gray that walks the line between the
I am...
light and the dark.
I
There
am-
can
Yeah.
be no emotion without anger or whatever the hell.
I am the...
No, it's like there can be no
I am-
passion without peace, or I don't know.
I am the
It's
purple and the
crap.
red. I am the cum and the butt.
Yeah,
I am the
it's-
shadow in the moon at night.
I am the equal and the opposite. I am the middle ground. I am fanon.
They basically
article
just
on-
took both codes and like combined them into like a non-anti code.
Yeah, it's awful, and
It's just like
Yeah,
the whole
Sith code
point of
good.
like the whole point like we're kind of getting off topic, but like the whole point, like people talk about Grey Jedi because they're like they realize the hubris of both sides, like they don't buy into dogma, and then they create a code for it. They're
which
like,
yeah, then
they're like
just,
yeah, they don't
then it creates
they
a
don't follow
dogma.
any rules, but then you're like
Yeah, you need rules to not follow rules. That's how you start out.
Yeah.
exactly the first rule is that there are no rules.
Exactly.
it's-
That's a rule in itself.
Yeah, that's the Grey Jedi code. The first rule of the Jedi Code is don't talk about the Grey Jedi Code. But yeah, the Sith Code is literally just like a concrete edgelord code, and the Grey Jedi Code is
It's pretty much
Objectively
what makes
better.
you stronger.
yeah, essentially.
Sith code is basically just power.
It's
But,
like the only
yeah.
thing that matters is physical strength.
Power good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because peace is a lie. There's only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Versus the Jedi Code, there is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. I mean, one of these is better than the other, but we'll leave that to the edgelords on the internet to pick.
The Sith code.
The Jedi Code.
Jedi code could be used maybe 2 or 3 less lines, honestly.
They have like the same amount of lines.
Like four lines. But yeah, Korriban. Is this like no? This is not the first instance of Korriban because it's in Tales of the Jedi. But
Yeah, it's in
Only
Tales
first-
of the Jedi. It's
of it.
it's the first big instance of it. I know it showed up in like several later things. Well, actually, I
I
think
think the Valley of the Dark Lords is probably first seen here, right?
well, I
'Cause
think
that's like something that's like post Tales
well,
of the Jedi.
actually, not
Or no?
to poo-poo your knowledge here, but actually, the Valley of the Dark Lords was first seen in Empire's End in, I believe, 97.
Empire's End. Isn't that like
Empire's End. It's the third.
it's just Dark Empire 3?
Yeah, Dark Empire 3 came out in 95, actually.
Wow, what a deep cut.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the first time we see the Valley of the Dark Lords. It isn't named. I would assume it was named in Tales of the Jedi, but I haven't read that for a couple of years. But yeah, Empire's End, we get the first instance of like Sith tombs in like a Sith tomb world.
Sure.
And you get hooligan dark side students that
Yeah, you
go
basically
around and
just go through. You just go through
It's
like the Jedi training from Dantooine, but Sith training.
yeah, it's basically Hogwarts if everyone was a Slytherin.
Right. Yeah. All the Sith, they're all training, but they're all trying to like undercut each other at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really fun. It like exemplifies like the Sith code of everyone's an asshole.
But like you get to see like
Everyone tries to
I think
betray
what's kinda
everybody.
cool- what's kind of cool about the planet though is like as you go, you get to see that like the superficial like evil assholes that the students are, like that's not who all of them are. Like I think one of the students like Mikkel is a good example. Like he's the guy that like made all those students stand outside and like he was just laughing at them like because he told them if they stood outside the academy long enough he'll make him a Sith, but like he was lying to him. He just wanted them to stand there till they die. But like if you help him, if you like save his life later on, then he'll be like, oh man, I don't know what the fuck, what have I been doing, like they kind of realize that all this isn't really worth it. Like some of them don't realize it. Like when it comes down to it, they're just assholes to the end. But like you get a couple of them that you can redeem. It's kind of cool. Like I think the best one is Euthura.
I mean, by far the best one is Euthura.
Yeah, she's kind of like your. She's a Twi'lek. She's like your sort of master kind of guide to like the Sith.
Yeah,
temple.
Euthura is the one who justifies the Sith ways to you. Like she explains the Sith code, and she seems to like be so confident that it's the way to go. But like,
Yeah, she wants you to like
As
team
you're
up with
doing-
her to like take down your master
Yeah.
and stuff.
everything, and then like as you go through the trials, if you like talk to her and get to know her better, you get to like learn about her origins. She used to be like a slave, and then she was picked up and went to the Jedi. But like, she wanted to come back and free the slaves, but the Jedi didn't think she was ready or something like that. And then she joined the Sith. But yeah, so like, Korriban's like, you go. I think the main quest of Korriban is basically you go and raid all the you raid all the tombs because you need to get prestige for the Master of the Academy. So that because he won't let you enter the tomb with the star map until you like impress him enough, basically.
Yeah, it's basically like the other planets where you don't get to like finish your quest for that planet until you solve the problem that's there.
Yeah, it's like, and you get the choices. So like, if you're dark side, then it's very easy to gain favor. Like, you just kill everybody, take advantage of everybody. You know, they'll ask you to like kill some students in a cave or whatever. Like, okay, that's a piece of cake. If you're light side, you got to be a little bit more. Ironically, you got to be like more deceitful about it. Like, you got to lie about stuff. Like, if you free the students in the cave, and it's like, oh yeah, I killed them, but like the Shyrock ate their bodies or whatever. Or, you can pretend you destroyed the droid or something.
Yeah, there's destroying the droid, freeing the students who were basically wanting to defect.
Juntapal's sword.
A Juntapal's sword. There's Jorak Uln.
Yeah, he'll give you like the questions, and if you answer them right, then he tortures Mikol, one of the students.
Yeah,
and he'll die if you answer enough right. But you can like answer enough right and enough wrong to where you both survive, and you can kill him.
Yeah, well, because
the main thing I remember is that there's just like the main city area for kind of Korriban, where like
there's like Dresde, which is like the mining colony, and then you got like the middle area, which like this. I think this planet's really the visual. I like the visuals of the planet. Like, I think that middle area, like the Academy entrance, I think they put that there just so they could show off the valley.
Oh, it looks you get to look at it from like a
really
distance.
Pretty.
It looks awesome.
And you get like, you just like feel like you can hear like the wind. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like an even shittier Tatooine.
Yeah, it's like just arid wasteland, like mountains.
Yeah, another kind of openish area. You get to kind of just walk around, hang around, kind of experience everything. The Valley of the Dark Lords is just this big area with all these like rocks in it, and you got the 4 tomb entrances, I believe, and everyone's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, you get like a little history lesson before you go into each one of like, oh, well, this is the tomb of Marka Ragnos. He was like the head honcho, and this is Ajunta Paul. He had a really dope ass sword. And
is there some more like familiar ones?
Well, yeah, Marka Ragnos is Tales of the Jedi.
Someone from like someone else.
Yeah, Ludocresh.
There we go. And then the other guy.
He's in the second one though. He's not one of the.
No, yeah, he's
in the second game.
Oh no, Ludocresh.
Like, his tomb is in the second game.
Oh.
Who's the tomb you go into for the trial? Like the final trial?
Nagasato.
Oh, Nagasato.
There we go.
Yep, there we go. Yep. I always get those two mixed up.
And then there was Tulak Horde.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Tulak Horde, who's apparently the GOAT like lightsaber fighter ever. We find out in the second game, but
some fun areas to explore and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty simple-ish.
It's mostly like puzzles more than anything. Like
yeah, some kind of annoying puzzles, honestly, that I had to look up some walkthroughs for.
Yeah, like the obelisk, where you're supposed to know that you're supposed to put a plasma grenade there.
Yeah, well,
somehow.
The obelisk.
Yeah, the tomb of Ajunta Paul.
Oh,
like
the wall with the droids. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and you have to like know to put a plasma grenade there somehow.
I was thinking Nagasato, where you have to know to not put the plasma grenade and put the ice grenade.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I don't recall that at all, but
Yeah, but
I somehow got through that area.
Tomb, though, because you get to see like the spirit of Ajunta Paul, and he's all like, remorseful, full of regret. That's like kind of the theme of the whole planet. Like on the surface, like it seems like everybody wants to be like badass Sith Lord, but like when you get down to it, they're like, man, I don't know about all this. It's kind of just, the dark side's kind of whack, yo.
Yeah, I've got PTSD from being a massive douchebag my entire life.
Yeah.
But yeah, you basically, essentially, like, you redeem everything that's in the tombs. I mean, Ajunta Paul is, like, the best one. He gives you, like, a little bit of history on, like, the ancient Sith and how they were all assholes. And
I think he tells you a little bit about the 100-Year Darkness.
Yeah, you get, like, a little bit in there.
You hear about how they, like, came to Korriban.
Yeah.
And stuff. But
Cool.
Not really. It's kind of vague.
Yeah.
Like the Jedi showed up and they started getting real busy.
Yeah, essentially. And I mean, and again, like the great thing about BioWare that they did for like this kind of era of games, basically through this, until I think the first Mass Effect, like for all the loading screens, they would have like these little like tidbits of history, for all
like
of
on Xbox. On Xbox, you get to read them.
Oh yeah, because
PC.
Well, no, yeah.
You better take a screenshot.
Yeah, on Xbox, you have about 5 minutes for each loading screen to read whatever ones show up. You basically get to like cycle through like 2 every time for Xbox, but yeah, if you're on the PC, you're basically like, you better have some fucking lightning speed eyes.
I have to go into the journal to read that one, buddy.
Yeah, but yeah, Korriban, like you said, it's a great thing of like, on the surface everyone's an evil piece of garbage, but on the inside everyone's like yearning to be a Jedi, essentially.
Yeah, it like just shows you and I don't know. I personally kind of have like a, for lack of a better word, like a fetish for like, when people realize the follies of the dark side. It's like it seems so enticing, like all this power, and it's like all great and everything, but like people realize that like there's a price to that stuff, and like coming back to like Euthura, it's like she became a powerful Sith Lord, or I mean not a Sith Lord, but like a powerful Sith, but like she didn't end up doing any of the stuff that she wanted to do. Like the reason she became a Sith in the first place, she didn't do any of it because she was just so obsessed with power. It's like losing your humanity,
screwing everybody over.
Yeah, it's essentially like a planet where half of the people you encounter get like a Vader redemption.
Yeah, I think you can redeem Mikkel, that Kel Alguin. That dude was never really evil.
Yeah,
I redeemed people. I think I just killed everybody.
We completely glossed over Karth's son.
Yeah, Karth's son. You end up like through Karth's little side quest. You find out just through a random ass person on the planet that his son is a Force sensitive Sith, and you can redeem him or satanically murder him in front of his father.
Oh, wow, I completely missed that.
There's only one dialogue option, I think, where he lives. Everything else, he attacks you.
Well, yeah, because if you go to him too early without like presenting, like gathering the evidence that the Sith are evil, I think it's like there's another character that like he has like a thing with, and it's essentially like, they're gonna kill my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
and if you don't,
it's kind of a recurring theme though. It's like the same thing with the Sokath. Like you have to find proof that the Sith are lying to you or to Dustil, like with the Sokath.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing is that Dustil uses like a reused 80 times over like face model.
Does he? I think he has a unique model.
Does he? I swear I thought he... Maybe
he just looks like...
No, I think it's the same voice actor.
He
That's it.
He has the same voice actor as... I guess the easiest comparison I can make is Igear from the Undercity.
Yeah, literally.
He's like the shop owner.
That's exactly what I think. Yep, he has the same voice actor. Yep, you're right. He has a unique face model.
He's also Rosh in... I think he's Rosh in Jedi Academy.
Is he? I know Rosh is in the game like a shoot ton of times, but maybe it is.
You remember the finale, basically, of the planet where you have to team up with Euthura to take down her master, And I think I played through it a couple different ways to see what would happen. And I think no matter what, she like betrays you, right?
Well, it's either
okay, so
it's either
so you do the final.
Yeah, no, you just say it. Yeah,
You do the final trial like you're alone. It's one of the few times where you're alone, where you can't have a party, and you gotta like fight 2 Torrentitekks, which is a pain in the ass.
Well, you don't. Well, there's easy ways to cheese it, but yeah.
Yeah, but like you gotta not use the fire grenade, and then you find the star map, and then yeah, you get the final confrontation, which like there's multiple ways to do it, like, and there's like multiple quests. Like you can choose to side with Uthar if you told him about Uthura, and you can like there's multiple.
Oh, that's
ways
right. If you just tell him at like the last minute,
Yeah.
you just be like, you
Which
could have
you
told me about this before. You suck.
Yeah, that's only if you didn't tell him about it before. If you told him about it before, then he won't betray you. But if you didn't and you side with him, he'll be like, "Yeah, you didn't tell me about this before. I'm gonna kill you." And then you can also side with Uthura, and he can also poison either of them or both of them.
Huh. Wow.
Which obviously, if you poison both of them,
You fight them both.
then you're.
Get maximum options for evilness.
But yeah, if you do befriend Uthura, like you can ask her about her past before the final trial. If you hear her whole story and befriend her, then you have the option to redeem her.
Ooh, cool.
And she doesn't. I think you can, if you don't have the option to redeem her, you can just tell her to leave. Like she'll attack you, but she'll stop, and you can either kill her or not, and she'll leave and become the new master of the academy. But if you redeem her, then she goes to Dantooine, and you can see
Yeah, I think
her
I
there.
ended up just having to like just kill everybody to get out of there.
Yeah,
the only way you can get out of fighting everybody in the academy, I think, is if you let Uthar live.
or if you let Uthura live.
Yeah, and I think I did have to kill everybody
if
in
you
the
kill Uthar,
academy. Yep.
if you kill Uthar and you redeem Uthura, then you have to fight
Fight
everybody.
everyone.
But like if you let one of them live, then you don't.
Yeah, so essentially, it boils down to the options of kill Uthar and Uthura, kill Uthar, Uthura takes over, kill Uthar, Uthura redeemed, or kill Uthura and the status quo remains. But
Yeah, I was all light side up until that point, but I just botched it so much with all the different choices you could make. I just ended up screwing it up, and I had to like murder hobo everyone.
Well, I think
It is
one of the
kind
funnest.
of easy to.
Yeah, it's if you don't pick like the right stuff, yeah, it's very easy like to get a dicked over version of that. But I think one of the funnest things is if you go to Korriban last, then Uthar at the very end, he's like, "Oh yeah, I know you're Revan." Like,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of cool little like interactions in the game. Like after you learn your Revan, like one of them's like on the Kashyyyk computer. Like if you know your Revan,
it just
then
lets you
the game's
through.
like it's just like, oh, you know your Revan. Here's the star map. You don't have to do any of the question shit. Or on Manaan,
you
you can like say your Revan.
and
to,
everyone
like random Sith soldiers,
and they're like,
just laugh at you.
they're literally just like, blow it out your ass. And
you can also, I think you can do that to Uthura. Like when she asks you if you want to become a Sith, you usually have to like persuade her. But if you say that you're Revan and you give her like really odd responses, like, "Oh, would I want to become a Sith again? I suppose that would interest me," or you can say like, "It seems like I've forgotten most of my training," and she's like, "What the fuck?" Well, we'll let you become a Sith because you're a weirdo.
yeah,
And you don't have to persuade her.
Yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, Korriban is besides Dantooine, it's like the big lore dump for the game, essentially.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I think it's probably my favorite planet in the game.
Yeah, it's
I would have to say.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, either that or like Dantooine, because they're basically like the antithesis of the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, from here we get to go, assuming this is your last planet, but now we get to go to the Starforge, which is cool because it's outside of like known space at the time, and you get to crash land on this like tropical looking planet, and you're ambushed by these disgusting
unknown world.
Yeah, it's literally just says the unknown world, and you're
The award-winning vacation destination, unknown world.
yeah, no choice.
Crash land here soon.
Yeah, you crash land, and I think Karth is like, oh yeah, fortunately we can scavenge parts from one of these giant ships that have also been pulled down.
There's like other ships crash landing on the planet.
Yeah, it's because there's like a energy field that essentially, like, if you're trying to get to the Starforge and the shield is up, then you can't go.
Sure.
But yeah, you crash land, and to very quickly paraphrase the Unknown World.
One of my favorite worlds, just because it's so pretty.
It's
planet.
super pretty. Like, you get it's the third lore dump of the game. Like, you basically get like, oh yeah, everything you've heard about like the Infinite Empire and everything, like it's all true. We existed. We were garbage people.
Yeah, it's like lore dump, kind of like Tatooine was with the Tuscans in a way.
It's like optional. Like, if you don't give a fuck, then you can just do what you want.
Well, yeah, if
you want to learn about them, you can.
Yeah, if you don't give a fuck, you side with the one and just kill everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's essentially like two tribes that are like fighting against each other. It's the one, and then I don't know.
Elders.
The elders,
who were like the precursor
Red tribe and the black
race.
tribe.
Yeah, essentially, like it's red versus blue, but you can either side with the one and just slaughter all the elders who are going to give you all the cool exposition dumps, or rescue one of the elders, which then, the two are mutually exclusive. Like, if you side with one, you can't side with the other. It's honestly like pretty quick, like the resolution to the planet, unless you go through and listen to all the lore. And then
if you listen to the lore, it like doubles the planet basically.
I really liked all the lore. I was so there for that. That was cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. You learn that like they were this empire that like basically spanned the galaxy, the known galaxy at the time.
Yeah, force sensitives also.
Yeah, they were
all like force sensitive, and they used like the force to like pilot ships and shit.
Yeah, they essentially created hyperdrives, which is, I guess, like at the time, like it's something that like Star Wars had like taken for granted. Like, oh, it's just the thing that they use to travel.
Yeah.
Just like how like in the 21st century, like we take jet planes for granted. Like, 100 years ago, people had to fly with these like shitty propeller things.
And I just say though, like, and I know this is like something that everybody says, but like, man, for 4,000 years before A New Hope, the technology doesn't really seem all that different.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things with Star Wars where like technology just stopped. That's where I think the comics did a bit more fun with it. Where in Tales of the Jedi, it's like medieval, and then by the time you get to like Jedi versus Sith, it's like the Renaissance, and then it finally gets 1,000 years later to like is
for like Star Wars. Like at this point, it's like, what else could they really do besides being able to fly from planet to planet?
Yeah, well, they do use swords in KOTOR, which they explained that because they said that like they invented energy shields, so like blasters are basically useless. And
it's Dune.
Yeah, it is Dune. It's just like Dune. It's like you gotta use swords because everybody's got a fucking shield.
Even though like probably 3/4 of the characters you run into don't have shields.
Yeah.
Right.
Until the end of the game.
Oh, then fucking everybody and their mother has a shield. But yeah, the like
Rakata Prime, super cool.
We can't
isn't
call
like the finale kind of like a temple thing?
Yeah,
you have to go into?
The finale is the Temple of the Ancients, and it's basically just like a big dungeon where you fight like a bunch of like Sith troopers and Dark Jedi.
Pretty tough.
By this point in the game, you should be able to wipe your ass with all of them.
Oh yeah, like you can. If you're playing a Jedi consular, you can just force storm everything to straight to hell. But yeah, it's either like, again, like if you built your character right, like the real difficulty spike isn't until you get off of the Unknown World. But yeah, the Unknown World is really fun, and then after you get through like the little temple and you do a little puzzle in the basement before you go up to the roof, and you encounter Bastila, who is evil. You can tell she's evil.
We forgot to mention that Bastila got captured on the Leviathan.
Yeah.
She's been held hostage, or not held hostage, but she's been, like tortured by Malak for like the whole time you've been finding the last Starforge, and
like a day.
I guess convinces her to turn to the dark side.
Yeah. But yeah, you can tell she's evil because she has the red lightsaber and black robes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
and she talks in her evil Bastila voice.
Yeah. And
Which the voice acting is kind of corny there, but
Yeah.
I buy it because it's Star Wars.
yeah, Star Wars can be corny, but yeah. Essentially here at like towards the end of the game, this is where we get like the final like morality choice. This is the one that determines your
morality
ending.
choice. Like whatever choice you made before, like you could be light side or dark side before, but like if you were dark side, it was kind of inconsequential. Like yeah, you're a dick, but you're still doing what the Republic wants. You're just a giant asshole.
Yeah, this
but,
is
like now.
This is
like,
where
this
you
is
can call the downfall of the Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because from here we get Bastila. She's like spouting. It's basically like she's giving you like the Darth Vader ESB lines, like, oh, join the evil side. We're the goats. The Republic sucks. They basically brainwashed you, and you have the choice. And it's. I think the fun thing is though, like from this game, and a lot of it has been, is like you fall to the dark side like through choosing dialogue options. Like it's not through like everything you've done before. Like there hasn't been like a meter. Kind of like in KOTOR 2, where, like, depending on what you choose, like, you get to choose at the very end, because it's kind of cool, because you get to have this big revelation of your character, and it's like, oh, yeah, like, I've been doing, riding the Republic's dick this whole time, but they brainwashed me and stole my life from me, so I'm going to turn against them. Or it's I've always been evil, because I'm the Joker.
Right.
Yeah, but you could be light side the entire game and get the dark side ending because you chose the dark side option, and vice versa. You could be a giant asshole dick the entire game, and it won't matter because you can still choose to save the Republic.
Wow.
But yeah,
that is not the case in KOTOR 2. If you were dark side, then you get the dark side outcome.
Well, I think after you like get the restored content mod, I think there's a bit more choice. But yeah, essentially. But yeah,
like. I don't think we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, it's either here you choose if you're going to have Bastila with you, or I mean, I really like that the game like forces consequences on you for like if you choose the dark side, like you have to kill Juhani and Jolie, who are probably like two of the standout companions from the game.
Yeah, and they're a very tough fight too.
Oh yeah, like
it's probably one of the few times where like choosing dark side makes the game harder for you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's either assuming good boy playthrough, you fight Bastila. You for some reason let her get onto her ship and fly away.
Yeah, you're like, oh, stop! Don't come back.
Oh, I'm in a video game, please. But yeah, you turn off the energy field that's preventing you from flying away. By now you have scavenged the parts that you need, and you fly off, and
you have to disable the tractor beam. Yeah.
Oh, you got to have the confrontation with your party members first, depending on what choice you picked.
Well, if you pick the good choice, then there's not really
they're like,
thing.
Good job, you are not an evil asshole, and you can say like, oh, Bastila made a good case. I'm like, did she really though?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if you're dark side,
you have to deal with some dissension.
But no matter what, your party members will go along with it because this is a video game.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, well,
Taris does. You got to kill children. You got to kill Mission.
Your
dark side.
You have to. Ooh. Mission has to die.
Oh really? Wow.
Oh, and Karth.
And Zalbar.
Yeah. Well, Zalbar can live as long as you don't bring him onto the Starforge after killing Mission.
Yeah.
But yeah, Karth runs away and leaves a child to their death if you choose the dark side.
Yeah, Karth's kind of a little bitch. He runs away.
Run, Mission! And Mission's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
T3 doesn't care.
Yeah, Droid. HK doesn't care because Revan's his daddy.
He's already evil anyway.
Yeah, Canderous doesn't care because he worships the ground that Revan walks on.
But yeah, so now it's time to do the trench run and take down the Death Star.
Yeah, I mean, literally, yeah, it's just a trench run from the inside. It's like when you land on the capital ship in Battlefront 2 and you have to destroy it from the inside, essentially.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's like everything.
Everybody shows up,
will be tested.
Oh yeah,
spammed.
Oh yeah, you get spammed. Like even like the Sith troopers that are there, like the Sith Grenadiers and shit, and Sith heavy troopers, grenades, turrets.
I don't
Dark
think it actually
Jedi.
is infinite, but it might as well be. You just get wave after wave of Dark Jedi.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that was. Oh my god, that was just horrible. So tough.
yeah, it is. That is the only thing I will say about like difficulty spikes in KOTOR. KOTOR 2, without the restored content mod, I think does a better job of like mitigating difficulty. But KOTOR, like once you get onto the Starforge, it is like it's like Halo 2 Legendary. Like you are gonna get punished.
Definitely meant to be like that. Like they wanted you to be like, oh shit, you know,
so many times.
That's the part of the Sith army, or like the
Yeah, but
you would expect there to be like a bunch of like millions of Sith in there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's there. It's basically just like a big dungeon crawl trying to get to the end. Like there's droids, Dark Jedi,
except with infinitely respawning Sith.
Yeah. There is a fun little part where if you have enough computer spikes, you can, if you're playing light side, you get like good versions of the Revan robes that he wears, where his black parts of the robes are white, or you can get the Revan robes minus the hood and the mask. So that's a fun little part. They're basically just like super beefed up robes that are going to give you a stat boost for the final fight.
Yeah, they look pretty. They're the robes in the game that don't look like shit. They
Yeah,
look cool, not lame.
Yeah, they look cool. But yeah,
I didn't get those. I just said fuck it after trying the trench run too many times, and I watched the good ending on YouTube. Ba-boom.
Yeah, essentially it boils down to you get to Bastila, who is using her battle meditation against the Republic, and either you kill her just out of like desperation. This is like the only time killing someone isn't. I mean, I think there is an option to just be like, no, fuck you, Bastila, I'm gonna kill you.
You gotta kill her because she's evil now.
You can be like a dick. There's one option where you can be a dick. It's like, oh, don't worry, you won't feel a thing or some shit, or like it's like I can't really trust you after all, or some.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a couple.
Yeah, you can...
There's a couple dick options, but essentially it boils down to either you kill her because you're a dick, you kill her because like there's no other option, or you redeem her because you know she's your waifu and you did the romance option.
Fun fact: if you redeem her, even if you didn't romance her, the game acts as if you did romance her.
Yeah.
She'll say you like my love, and you're like, holy shit, we did not. What? I did not say that. I loved you, Bastila.
I just don't want to murder you like I've murdered
you can just
everybody else. You
completely blow her off romantically, but then save her at the end, and bam.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're dark side, you fight 3 generic.
Oh my god, and it's hard. It's harder than the Bastila fight.
Yeah, one of them can use a force kill.
Ooh.
Which force kill is like beefed up choke.
Oh yeah, it's literally
and it stuns you and takes away like half your health.
I was gonna say like it's half of your health each turn, so you progressively just like whittle down to nothing.
Yeah, rounded down. So like if somebody uses against you, they have to do it 3 times. If you fail the save.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're dark side, then Basil is going with you, and Malik's like, oh, my 3 coolest apprentices. Whoever kills Revan will be my like number 1 apprentice, and I whatever. But then like the door shuts, and he's like, they're not gonna live.
It's not even the door, bro. He like goes to the other side of the room, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna die, but it'll slow down Revan.
It'll give you time.
They're like, what was that?
Nothing. Oh, we're having spaghetti for dinner.
Like, great, excellent.
But yeah, Malik gets some evil laughs in like about 50 times while he's on the Starforge. But yeah, eventually you get to go through a really fun little fight against a bunch of droids where...
Oh yeah, puzzle fight.
Puzzle fight, yeah.
Infinite spawning droids. You gotta like hack the computers.
Yeah.
Or you can just fucking bash the door and not have to do the fight.
But yeah, from there you get like one final... That's like your final road stop to Malik. And then Malik, he basically says like, you know, this is the final boss fight. And it's going to be totally epic, but it's not. It's a slog. If you didn't build your character right, it's going to be a pain in the ass because you're by yourself.
Malik is no joke.
he uses force immunity, so you can't use like 80% of the force powers you've been picking against him.
He likes to use lightning a lot.
Yeah, lightning. So if you don't have force immunity, you're gonna get dicked over. He can. I don't know how many Jedi are there that he can drain the health of in the suspended animation.
I'm trying to remember. Like
I want to say like 1,
it's a
2,
shit ton.
3,
It's like
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to say like 10. I think is.
I think it's like 10.
Yeah, it's like in the ballpark of like 10. He can heal himself from wherever he's at to full health 10 times if you don't destroy his sources of doing it. But yeah,
You don't have a force power to destroy
yeah.
the fucking his heals, then
Look,
you were going to be fighting him 10 times.
I think the only 2 things are force drain, or I think throw lightsaber. I want to say.
Oh,
but
I
don't
could
think
just
that's right.
listen to you guys talk about stats all night long, but
Yeah, but
Destroy droid is one of them.
keep going. That's what I was saying. Keep going, please.
oh no, but yeah, it's essentially it boils down to there's several different ways to beat him. I know one time I cheesed it and I was doing a no blaster playthrough, so I just cheesed it with mines. You can't really cheese it with
Watching him fall to mines is hilarious.
oh, because he force jumps into the mines like every time.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But yeah, essentially the Malak fight is like the true test of like your character. Yeah, and
Just epic. The music's epic. Just an epic boss fight.
yeah, it's
Very satisfying.
super good, very satisfying, and at the end he gives you his like final big bad evil guy.
Yeah,
like,
his pity party.
yeah,
He's like, if the Jedi captured me, would I have? It's like, shut up.
and in the end you belong to neither the light nor the dark. You belong to the
If the Jedi had captured him, everyone would have known he was a bad guy because he has freaking half a robot mouth.
and
Yeah.
and
He's like,
and
"Who
face
are-
tats.
What's my identity? Yeah, he would have been like, they'd be like, they killed Darth Malak. I'm like, damn, I look exactly like him.
Yeah, well, because that's the whole point of like how they could like with Revan, it's like he's known by the mask. He's not nobody knows he's
Nobody knows what he looks like.
nobody knows that he's Mullet Man.
Malak, it's like,
You
yeah,
look
you're the only other guy in the galaxy that has a fucking prosthetic jaw,
you look evil.
and you look evil.
Sick face tats, bro.
And you're 8 feet tall.
Yeah, luckily, Revan, I guess, just wore a hood all the time before, and no one really knew what they look like.
Yeah. Well, I will say like that's one thing that BioWare did super great with this game, to like backtrack way to the beginning. It makes it like Revan. They use whatever pronouns. Like if you pick a female character, they use female pronouns. If you pick a male, they use male pronouns. So
Do
like,
they?
yeah, they do.
I think they. I don't
mean,
think they do.
yeah.
I think they are.
Do they
neutral
just say
with
Revan?
all of his pronouns. Yeah, I think they just say Revan. That's the case in the second game.
Well, what
I
do they
think you might be
say
right.
before?
They all use neutral pronouns in the first game.
So I was calling Revan.
Yeah, it's
they
either
just
they
call
call him Revan, and like when any of your
I
party
feel like
members,
Canderous would refer to him as he.
No, he just says Revan.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, because you defeated the Mandalore clans, and now I'm
Yeah,
gonna
if you know
lick
you're
your
Revan, then he
boots.
just says you.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, before you find out that your character's Revan. With the way
Oh,
Yeah,
they
he just
talk
uses
about it.
Revan.
yeah, they
all neutral.
It's, and whenever they
Okay.
talk to you, they just say like you. So yeah,
Right, because obviously they can't say your fake name you got out of the name generator.
They can't say Twi'lek Pounder 74 or whatever.
Cock Smasher number 5. But yeah, you beat Malak in a super satisfying old school boss fight, and yeah,
Save the
then
galaxy.
You save the galaxy either depending on the light or dark side options that you picked. The Starforge is either saved, and you get a super cheesy ending where Bastila all hails Lord Revan.
Oh, it's so badass though, because you got like the fucking Sith fleet, bro. You got like 100 of those big ass interdictor ships coming out of the Starforge.
No, yeah, it's badass, but I mean the ship on the speech on the unknown world is very monotone.
Well, Bastila's a dork, so
All
That's
hail
was, like,
Lord
Attack of the
Revan.
Clones.
All hail
Anakin.
Lord
Yeah,
Revan.
you save the galaxy, but the Jedi Academy on Dantooine just gets zerped.
Oh yeah, it gets blown up, but who cares? Because
Master Vandar survives.
yeah, Master Vandar
Well, I think
survives.
it's-
So
I think it's funny though
And
that
Varuk.
they like even interrogate you about that because like obviously Malik knows that it's on Dantooine because he trained there.
yeah, I think it's just I think it's just Admiral Kareth just being an asshole because he's evil.
Yeah, they even say that they're like he just wanted to be a dick.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, like that's the end. Like, the end. You either get a happy ending or the Republic is fucked until Kotor 2.
Yep, we're not. It doesn't
Till
matter
next
either way.
time.
But yeah, I mean,
It's like a episode. It's like, yeah, it all got wrapped up, but by the next episode, it won't matter.
Yeah, it's nice and self-contained. Just nice New Hope stylish story.
Yeah, very classic. You know, yeah, like
yeah. I mean, until like Kotor 2 came out, like, I mean, either ending could be valid because it's like, well, who cares? Because we have 3,000 years for the Republic to come back and be the Republic that's in Episode 1. So,
yeah. Obviously, the light side ending was quote unquote canon, but yeah, it really wouldn't matter either way.
Yeah, definitely a game I'm glad that I finally played. You know, I put it off for just a really long time, and I finally played it and was just like, whoa, this is so cool. This is just so Star Wars, you know? Like, it just fits right in with any other expanded universe content, and it's great.
oh yeah, no,
It's like one of the only games that I just like get the craving to play, like, you know, like over and over again. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it's super fun. Like, it's got something for everybody. Like, I mean, if you're a Jedi fan, it's got tons of stuff into the Jedi. If you're a Sith fan, it's got tons of stuff into the Sith. It like,
It has just tons of replay value.
yeah, tons of replay value. If you're a fan of the Mandalorians, I think besides Tales of the Jedi and like Jango Fett, like this was the only Mandalorian stuff that had come out before then.
Flushes out like
Tales of the
Tannerus
Jedi.
talks about his culture, so like they kind of flush out Mandalorians too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if you are a fan of like stuff that happened post Return of the Jedi, Canderous has a little war story where he goes on about like how they encountered like this ship that nobody's ever seen before, and it fled beyond the known galaxy, and then it turns out that like later on that was like a subtle little like tie-in to the New Jedi Order. It's a Yuuzhan Vong scout ship. So it even like ties into stuff that happens like way later.
No, yeah, but I mean, NGL came out 99. This is like 2003. So.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like a topical little tie-in. The New Jedi Order, I believe, was still ongoing at the time. So, like getting that,
Yeah,
like
it's definitely. This is one of those things. It does kind of almost connect to every era of Star Wars in some form or way. You know, whether it's through lore or references or just stuff it uses.
yeah,
Kind
like
of ties it all together.
yeah, it's all one nice little box, and somehow if you've sat through this like nearly 3.5 hour retrospective and you haven't like played this game, like go and play it. Like it's probably like $10 on Steam.
Yeah, I think it is $10.
Guarantee you will not
like-
remember any of the spoilers.
It's a must. It's
Just get in there.
well,
do it.
no way that you can't have that the game isn't spoiled for you by now.
Oh no, I mean,
It's like, man, you can't. I mean, I don't want to say like you can't be a Star Wars fan and not play this game, but like that's kind of what I'm saying. Like you got to play this game.
yeah. Well, I mean, like
Definitely a must play if you're a Star Wars fan for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, even if you're like a fan of the expanded universe, and I mean, the Revan reveal is basically the Vader reveal for like deep lore fans. So I mean, it's just part of like the zeitgeist that is the expanded universe fans. Like if you want to like Revan, like this and KOTOR 2 are the place to start. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if there's other games that have done like a meta twist like that, where you figure like besides like BioShock stuff like that. I guess there's not really any other games that have done like a twist like that, where you find out something about your character that you didn't even know, and it's like whoa.
yeah, and yeah, it just works super well. So I mean, like all in all, this is like, I mean, if anybody ever says like, oh yeah, this is my favorite Star Wars game, it's like, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I would not be mad at you if you said this was the best Star Wars game ever made. I mean, like, if you said that about like Battlefront, I couldn't be mad at you either. But this is definitely one of those. It's up there, and I don't think it's as popular as Battlefront, but I think it's very important. It's a very important Star Wars game. I think it influenced a lot of stuff going forward.
And yeah, but there hasn't really been anything like it since then besides KOTOR 2. Like no other
like I said,
Star Wars
no one
RPG.
wants to really touch it.
Yeah, because I mean, the Old Republic like tried, but I mean, it crashed and burned. I mean,
well, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah. Moral of the video is if you haven't done anything with KOTOR, like go do it now.
Yeah, I mean, like we said at the beginning, it's very accessible. You can play it on your phone if you wanted to.
Yeah, I will say
it's available on every current video game platform that there is. Yeah.
I don't think it's available on PlayStation yet.
But
I
mean, like,
it's on Switch, it's on Xbox, it's on your phone,
it's not
it's
on
your
PlayStation
PC.
if it's on Switch.
If you got a computer, it'll be able to, you can run it. You just might have to tweak the settings a little bit, but you'll be able to run it. Not gonna require a whole lot of power.
No, yeah, it's from from 2003. It's almost a 20-year-old game, so. Yeah, I mean,
man, it's almost 20. Yeah, it is almost 20 years old, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time flies when you're on your 50th playthrough of KOTOR.
Just yesterday, I kept quitting on Taris 15 times in a row and restarting.
But yeah.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I think it's something a lot of kids did. They just got to a certain point on Taris and restarted.
No, that's
why restart though? What do you mean?
That was literally my first couple experiences with Taris. Like, since the game is a little bit more open-ended, like I had to go through probably like I think 2 times before I figured out how to get past anything.
Oh, why would you completely restart the game?
Okay, so like you go through the game, right, and you get like progress done, and then you put it down, right, and you get away from it for a while. You come back and there's like no context, so you're like, okay, might as well restart.
Oh, you don't like
That's
know what to do or where to
process.
go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, KOTOR is good.
Yeah, KOTOR is yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, to wrap this all up, I mean, if you've enjoyed this gargantuan video, probably the longest we put out in like 2 years, like the video, subscribe. It helps us grow, and you can see more of our amazing Star Wars content in the future. So, with that, this is Cade from the Lore Council signing off.
This is Keith. Thanks for listening.
This is the less cool Tristan. See you later.